What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 152. I'm your host, Anthony Trapani. I love you. I missed you since last week. I'm also here with my resident homies, Joel, Joseph, and Casey. What up, y'all?
Yo.
Tonight we are joined by Colin Cadell, aka Monsters Around Us. What's going on, Colin?
Not much, man. Just happy to be here. Thanks, guys. It's
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
something I've thought about wanting to do, and then you were nice enough to agree to it. So I'm very stoked
Totally.
to
I
be
mean,
here.
Awesome.
I enjoyed your music. I enjoy the collabs that you've done, and you know it's cool to. This has actually been in the making for a little bit, right?
Yeah. We sort of reached out a little while
in
ago.
touch with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we sort of
Nice,
touch base, and then sort of just kept in touch since then. And I think as I was saying before at the start, massive fan of you guys. It's awesome hearing you talk every week when you do.
That's cool, dude.
As someone who's got, I'll be upfront. I don't want to go too deep down it on this because of some stuff at the moment. But like, as someone with mental health issues and stuff, it's kind of nice. I've got support and stuff, but it's really cool having you guys there to listen to and feel like I'm hanging out with homies for a couple of hours in a week. And
That's what's
I really
up, dude.
appreciate
That's
you. I
awesome.
love you guys.
That's literally what we're trying to do with this.
That rules. Yeah. Wow.
And we've actually heard that that from other fans as well, and I'm glad that we can be something like that.
Thanks, man. We all go through shit. Life's hard.
No doubt, dude.
Definitely.
And same thing. It's like
Yeah,
I've heard other accounts where they're just in the middle of nowhere, little social interaction, and when they have social interaction, having similarities and or like similar interests, it's a hard thing to come by in those small little bubbles. And
Oh yeah.
so we've heard that this type of our format on this show makes people feel like we're just hanging out, and that's exactly what we're trying to do with the show every week. We just want to hang, dude.
Fuck oath.
So-
It was funny. When you were going like, as someone with mental health issues, I was like, my nightmare was you going like, it's glad to see Joel, like, he's a psycho.
Savage.
It's good to see that he can do something,
Glad this one's together for this long, yeah.
No, that's awesome though, man. Thanks. That's cool. Kind words. I love it.
It's all good, guys. Honesty is a virtue, and like you gotta live with some of your mistakes and other shit. And sometimes the best way to work through it is to just deal with your problems. So all I can say is it's nice to have people you can listen to who talk shit, focus on something that isn't what your life is. It's about your art, the beauty of art, the beauty of people. So I'm all here.
Beautiful
for
art,
it.
beautiful people, dude.
Fuck
That's
yeah,
so
dude. Yeah.
perfect. That's exactly what this show's about, dude. The person and their art. That's it.
Yeah.
We just want to talk to the person, get to know them, which
And occasionally you'll have like a blast beat or like a
Yeah.
or a digga zigga zigga.
Or like a little gear nerd talk. Yeah, who knows?
it's gonna do grind vocals
Oh, yeah,
occasionally
dude.
for the fucking hell of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. All right, let's do the plug situation real quick, and then we'll get
Yeah.
into
You got to do your
chatting,
rep.
dude.
Go for
You
it,
know,
Jess.
always battleforgecoffee.com. Oh, you know what, dude? Let's take that back down. Let's start plugging this thing right. This is Cali Death Podcast. We go live every single Thursday. Okay. And now we're doing it across multiple platforms. We haven't really been doing that other than Twitch, but it's on Twitch, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, all three at the same time. So you guys might be on here now, and from one of those three, what's up to you? And thanks for hanging out with us. But yeah, every Thursday night, I'm missing an Aloha shirt. I mean, hat.
You still have that hat, or did you lose it or something?
No, it's in the truck right now. Actually, I
Okay.
can run out there later on tonight.
Let's go take a break.
Might
And go
make an
grab it.
appearance later on
Yeah.
tonight. It's
right.
the only hat I ever put on my head.
All right. All right.
We are live on all the things. This is correct.
That's true.
Go there every Thursday night. You know, we do it Pacific Standard Time. You're not supposed to say standard anymore. It's just Pacific time.
There's Pacific Daylight, PDT, and PST. We just always say PST.
Just
We're just like
Cali time, yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Like you know
It's
we
all right.
mean. Listen up.
I live in Queensland, which is even more fucking confusing because in Australia, we're the only state that elects not to have daylight savings.
Oh,
really?
So every other
I
state
wish
is
we
on
did
an
that.
hour different time zone to us.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
No, we're not changing our clocks, which I mean,
Why
again,
is the same way for us
That's
too?
crazy,
They don't do
yeah.
daylight savings.
Arizona does like every other change. I don't even know. They're like they don't really change, right?
I feel like someone's up there playing some fucking political D&D game.
I
and they're just like,
know.
oh yeah, D10 motherfucker.
well, I mean, wasn't daylight savings time kind of made for farmers? Wasn't that kind
I
of the
was
reason
just about
why?
to say
So it's like
farming, trying to,
Extend the
daylight.
workday into the sunlight.
Yeah.
themselves. Yeah,
Exactly.
Totally extend the workday. That's exactly what it is, dude. Get
It's
the
like, we
most
just
out of
get
it.
It's
rid
to
of
give
it?
you more out of your day. It's not to fuck you in the back. So, don't worry about it.
Yeah, the plants will still grow the same. You know?
I know.
It's all good, bro.
The
It'd be a
plants are
different
still
number behind. Yeah, there's a different
active
number
daylight
assigned to it. That's
changing.
it. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny too because it was on the ballot. We voted for it to then they're like, no, you voted, and everyone was like, fuck, let's get rid of it. And then they were like, oh no, you gave the higher ups like the option to make the decision for you. I was like, sick, dude. I'm glad. Thanks, that's a good vote. I like them. I'm glad we did this.
We vetoed common sense.
Yeah, they blamed it
man.
on the farmers, but it's really just to get more labor out of us, dude. That's what it is. All right, so anytime Cali death time or Cali time.
We should say it's CDT for Cali Death Time. That's our...
There it is.
Cali Death
dude.
Time.
CDT.
That sounds like
CDT.
Central.
I'm down for that.
It
sounds
does
like
sound like
Central, though.
Central. It's worse. It's true.
I know.
It's more
I just
confusing.
think I always just say Pacific time, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, Pacific.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Very. All right.
LA.
Or no, you do Pacific and then you say Eastern, so it's just like so people just know. It's like you go like we're 8 o'clock Pacific, 10, 11 o'clock Eastern.
Oh yeah. Or well,
Yeah.
I'm
or no,
really
yeah,
scared if I
11 o'clock.
Google CDT, it's going to be like a tropical disease or something.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Isn't that a new AI chat format?
Or it sounds like a new compound that they would find in weed, like
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
CDT.
33% CDT, dude.
All right.
All right.
We have a couple merch orders, so I'll do the live bagging right now.
Hell yeah,
sick, dude.
let's back
But
it
it's
up.
gonna take me a little
Wait,
while
we-
to find the size.
Well, you can't do a live bagging without the music, though.
I know, but he's not ready yet.
I mean, we
Oh,
can't.
Oh shit, we got
Yeah,
live
we-
bagging.
yeah,
Oh, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
just giving-
Oh
no,
my
no,
god,
it's all good.
I'm slacking. Here it comes.
This one's for Andrew Packer.
Oh,
Oh shit! What up, Andrew?
You should play that video on here, dude.
No, he's gonna come on. He I booked
okay,
him, so we're gonna wait.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's dude. That
And
shit
save
was.
save one of the save that little thing for that episode too.
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
yeah,
watch it.
Dude, the
Can't
music
find it.
volume.
Shout out
looking for a
Andrew,
double
dude.
XL.
He's old homie. Definitely has been. He was one of the roommates in the Thunderdome, right? He lived there for a little bit, right?
Yeah. We actually
Not the furniture, the Thunderdome.
All right, we got a T-shirt going out to. Who's it going out to? Did you say?
Andrew.
Andrew
Oh
Packer.
yeah, that's right. Duh.
back daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Funny note about Andrew. 'Cause
Been a long day.
I worked with him at Circuit City back when we were like 15 years and years ago, and he like made fun of me so much for watching football, and then he's like obsessed with football now, and he just chose the Packers because his last name.
I know.
He's like, I'm a Packers fan. I'm Andrew Packer.
That's it.
But yeah, no,
Is
he
his band called Gypsy Hawk. Is that?
yeah, he was in that for a while. That was
Yeah,
the
which was a
Metal
Metal
Blade.
Blade band, right?
yeah.
They have
Yep.
an awesome
Yeah,
music videos on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All right, here it goes into the bag right now.
this is my
Boom.
favorite part.
For some reason, it makes this weird noise.
You need like ASMR or something for when it's being
This is-
packed.
yeah, live bagging ASMR. right.
Live bag ASMR. Just like get it close to the mic. Like,
Yeah.
Is that you teabagging the microphone? Live bagging ASMR?
That's what it is, dude.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
dude.
then other shout out to Brent Addison out of Linwood, Washington, grabbing your zombie
Shout out,
medium
Brent.
t-shirt right now.
Boom. I'm coming down to Santa Cruz. My coworker finally wants to buy one. He saw the one that you gave me. I actually am an owner of Cali Death Podcast merch. Finally, guys, I literally got both the shirts.
Yeah, we saw last week. Yeah.
this week.
I did it.
Did I
Yeah.
wear one on the show? Oh, I did. Okay.
you wore
He did, yeah.
I did. I wear. Now I remember. I wore the full color, but yeah.
Oh, do you still want to barbecue at my place this weekend?
I do want to do that, but we'll talk off the show about it because I don't know what our schedule's like on.
Yeah, we
Saturday.
should
I
plan
know we
something. Because
Okay.
yeah, we'll talk about it.
No, I definitely want to see all you guys. I want you guys to hang out with the kids and stuff. So we got to make it happen.
For sure.
We're only gonna be like stuck doing something Saturday evening. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It starts at 4 though. So
I mean, you have a pretty
Anything
good record of
after
showing up to hang out like at the end of your night with me.
if
If you can make it to fucking
I'll drag the
Vegas.
kids along.
Vegas Death Fest, right? Yeah. Like
Vegas
dressed all
Death Fest,
nicely.
it showed up at like 2 o'clock in the morning,
2 a.m. in Vegas is like the start of the night. So,
and then we
All right,
flew
here
out
goes.
that day.
Brent, you get the little ASMR
Got
treatment.
double
here.
bag. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Oh man, dude, that one was juicy, dude.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I actually found out like probably. Oh,
Like
let's hear it. Let's hear it. Hold on.
I don't know.
Like somebody just went to sleep right now.
Have you seen that shit? Because I didn't know what people always said ASMR, ASMR, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I remember seeing it like
I don't know what it means.
it was like some, I don't know, it's some like auto sensory. I have no idea. But
It can be anything. It can be talking. It can be a sound. So like
Yeah.
people literally sit there going, slightly sibilant words
Like,
are supple. And it's like they get off on the pops and the hisses, you know,
Yeah.
like that we usually want to avoid. And it's like a weird thing because it makes you feel comfortable because it's like someone reading to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a little psychological thing.
Well, the
Well, you
trippy
guys-
ones on Twitch though, it's just the
sensory
women.
thing,
They
too.
have like ear microphones. Have you seen those? Like they replicate ears. There's a microphone on each side, and they just go the whole time. They go.
Oh yeah, the binaural
And I'm like, what the
microphones. Yeah.
Like, and it's just when I like clicked it one time, there was like 4,000 people live Twitch just watching it go. I was like,
There's
what
like
the fuck is going on? Like,
there's something that like clicks in their brain where they get like a different sensation from listening to.
they must
stuff
have their
like
headphones
that,
just
you know?
turned up super loud, and they're just like it's really happening. to
Yeah,
me.
there's got out of 8 billion people, there is somebody out there that falls asleep to the sound of cans opening, like Casey just did.
I do.
I'm not gonna lie, there's worse sounds in life. That's
In a different way, but
It's like mine's specifically a sardine or a tuna can, dude. I got.
sounds like being on
I
tour.
just fall asleep, dude.
falling asleep to cans opening, like,
Yep.
gosh, like everyone's like, still partying.
Shout out
all right.
Curtis for the long explanation here.
Mm.
If you wear the head,
Mm.
What's crazy is that if you get the head-shaped one and wear headphones, it simulates direction in the point of the room, the sound that was made. So
It's like surround sound.
basically, I did notice this recently with just wearing the Apple pods.
Oh yeah, the
when you
directional.
turn
shit.
your
yeah.
head,
Yeah.
the focus of what you're listening to still stays where you
It's
were.
really cool, like with Apple TV or shit, like where you're like on your
Oh,
TV
really?
and yeah, it's crazy, dude. Yeah.
Oh, is that the
If you can
spiral sound or
Yeah.
spiral?
Well, Joel
Oh,
never
I
be
don't know
able to
which
experience
version
what
of
I
the
just
headphones.
No,
I
I
have.
talked
I have like
can't
the.
tell. I've never with my one
But
ear.
next
just
time
like,
you have your ear pods in, listen to something, and then turn your head to the left or the right. and
Yeah.
just-
It works
it'll
with the
be
phone too,
like
yeah.
there's a point of projection.
I think I turn it off.
Oh no, it's great.
You would turn it off.
I usually do because I didn't know what it meant. I was like turning it on and off, like seeing if I heard any difference, but I didn't know it was like having to do with motion.
Yeah, it is. It's a strange thing.
All right.
We never really got through our plugs because of the live bagging threw us off.
So
Gotta
Colin,
pour
how's it going?
coffee. The homies, Joseph's gonna be wearing their shirt all night, so they get the plug all night. But Battle Forge Coffee is where all of you guys should be getting your coffee. And I know all of you drink coffee. Don't fucking go to Starbucks and spend your $5 or whatever. Buy a bag of Battle Forge coffee, make it at home. It'll last you a lot longer and taste much better. And they got shirts just like the professor is wearing. Yeah, buy a shirt from us, CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. Any shows or anything?
Rehearsal Studios.
That. What?
Rehearsal Studios, right?
Oh yeah. Generator Rehearsal Studios.com. Go to that website if you're in the SoCal area and rehearse there.
Cool. 15 minutes to go through that.
I got a show next Friday, not tomorrow, but the week after. Last Lucy are supporting the Zenith Passage in Long Beach. Nice. So that'll be a good show.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, man.
Cruise out.
Now, Colin, where do you want people to go for your stuff, dude?
There's not really much at the moment because I'm in the middle of doing stuff for another EP and I'm a lazy bastard. I just did a run of stuff. But generally, you can go to my Bandcamp. Usual address, monstersaroundus.bandcamp.com. Or you can go monstersaroundus.bigcartel.com. And when I am doing stuff, you can grab it all there. I appreciate any support anyone wants to give me. You guys know what it's like doing music. It's not necessarily a living, but we all dream of it. And you also hope that, something clicks or, it becomes more of a living or whatever. I come from a very artistic family, so it's something that I deal with anyway.
Yeah. No, I know. When the further underground we end up, it's the hardest to actually make it a financial gain.
And that ain't everything, but
we do it for the art, though.
Well, exactly. I mean, you got to just do a podcast and you can get like a nice place in Aspen, like I got here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Casey's, like you're saying, he's up in Aspen right now.
The light's so good in his room, it swallows him up.
Yeah, I was just playing Bohemian Rhapsody on that piano before the episode.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, great.
Rock out on the piano and just shoot down the hill on some skis real quick and pick your gondola back up and play some more Bohemian Rhapsody, dude.
That was poetry.
Beautiful.
Let's get into Colin, dude. So Colin, one, when I sampled all your catalog, obviously EDM, electronic music. What another label, another live bagging?
Really? He's trying to ASMR it.
It's supposed to be background.
Everybody Andrew's address, dude.
Yeah, here it is, dude.
No, so I wanted to first normally we get into your beginnings and stuff, but there was just a question that I had
far away, man.
Up front first is going back in your catalog, electronic music is way more prominent, and then the further along we get through your catalog, the metal starts to leak its way into it.
Yeah, and sort of becomes a bit more of a major element as it progresses, obviously. And then when we get to the new EP, when that comes out, it's going to be a even bigger progression of the metal, but also the electronic stuff. Everyone says that, but it really is. They're very different.
So what since you could, and the way that it comes in is kind of like you're just feeding little bits and pieces of it along the way until the bits and chunks get bigger and bigger. So
yeah,
how did that crossover happen for you? Like,
let's put it down to okay. I'm one of those weirdos. I've got like a messed up autobiographical memory, so like I associate pictures with memories and things like that. So honestly, there's three things that contribute my love of electronic music and how I eventually came back around to like mixing it all. One, my boy the Algorithm. This is his cap.
Nice.
Who's if you guys haven't checked him out, very much do.
Oh, I'm an old Algorithm fan for sure.
Yeah, he's my boy. So when I've gone over to Euroblast in Germany, I usually hang out with him and stay with him and stuff. He's an absolute legend of a human. He's one of my favorite people in the fucking world. So shout out to Remy.
Hell yeah.
Basically, the Algorithm then through the rise of synthwave and stuff like that, you know, people like Perturbator, Ghost, if you guys know that dude, not Ghost as in the metal band. Yeah,
synthwave. So
I like that Ghost stuff. I like this shit, dude. So I've been waiting to chime in, but I'm super into electronic shit. Like, so
he's
it's okay to like heavy stuff and electronic.
Like Steve Moore and
Tangerine Dream. He's all
I've been into Tangerine Dream since the 90s. Like, I mean, I love all that.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the best soundtracks in history by them is the soundtrack to Sorcerer.
Oh, Sorcerer is amazing.
The movie Sorcerer.
That's
you got to watch that shit.
Yeah. No, yeah, dude. That's a really good soundtrack. Yeah. But yeah, dude, like Ghost, like I have that shit, like what is it, like GOST or something?
Yeah.
Or how's it spelled? Yeah. That shit's
good
really
old
cool,
Spooky
man.
Jimmy.
Yeah, dude, that's some cool shit. Like,
actually, shout out to him today. He just announced he's signed to Metal Blade.
Really?
So shout out to Ghost. His next album is coming out in 2024 on Metal Blade.
Nice.
He just announced it this morning. I saw it on Instagram earlier.
Do you like the is it on Relapse, like Zombie and stuff like that? Like yeah. It's Steve Moore, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Steve Moore's shit is so good, dude. I love that guy's music. Like and like some of his soundtracks, like these crazy ass horror movies and shit, like Bliss and weird like shit. Like, dude, it's fucking incredible. Like, it's great. And of course, the Stranger Things dudes and Kyle Dixon and all that stuff is amazing.
Since we're talking soundtracks and Danny Elfman, real quick, I just watched Nightbreed yesterday. Fucking killer fucking movie, dude.
Oh yeah,
who loves Nightbreed, dude?
How good is Cronenberg acting in that, dude? Like, I'm sorry, I'm like a fucking film super nerd. So if you go into that shit, we're going to be on a deep torrent of hell.
Yeah,
I am a fanatic person about movies, particularly horror, dark thrillers, Asian action, and extreme cinema.
Well,
what's the first?
Dude?
I'm sure we do.
The first, what's the dude who did Lord of the Rings? The first one's in like New Zealand.
Peter Jackson, like Brain Dead.
Brain Dead. Have you guys have seen that shit, right?
Yeah. It's like, one of the funniest films ever.
Rich and creamy, just the way I like it.
the lawnmower.
The
lawnmower just like it literally has a dude starting up a lawnmower and then just running over to people inside a house.
Yeah, dude, it goes into dude, that movie is amazing, dude. That's Peter Jackson. That's crazy.
Yeah. And he did one before that he acts in. I can't remember the name of it though, but it's like
there was
aliens invading.
Yeah. I used to have all those on DVD. Like, what was that one called?
I can't remember. It's nuts though. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, totally.
And that,
I'm sorry, I was zoning out while you guys were saying that. You're talking about Dead Alive, right?
Yeah, Dead Alive.
Dead Alive. Yeah,
I think the one we're talking Brain.
So I'm going to do a quick check because I'm one of those dudes. I need to know.
Dead Alive had two names though, didn't it? Wasn't it called something before?
It was called something else, but I can't remember the other one. I just know that my version says Dead Alive.
Dead Alive is for sure like the one that's known.
Like
pulling
this.
That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no. So the one I'm talking about, which may be what is Dead Alive. I'm trying to see if there's a different name. The one I'm talking about
does have a different
is Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about.
I used to have all those on. I don't know.
So wait,
maybe I still do somewhere.
That's not the same.
No, I don't think it is. No,
I think it was in a different.
The Bad Taste is different.
Yeah,
the Bad Taste is. They're all in New Zealand.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I also can't tell. You know, like a lot of these things in Australia and New Zealand, it might have had a different film title. Because we're in international territory, so some stuff ends up getting a slightly different title.
Yeah, it was called Brain Dead.
Okay, so Dead Alive is Brain Dead.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's right.
It's known as Brain Dead internationally, but in the US, I think it was Dead
Have
Alive.
You guys seen? That's because, well, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's because of the movie called Brain Dead with Bill Paxton and Bill Pullman.
It's a totally different rad fucking movie, though.
Which is an insane fucking movie.
Insane, dude. Yeah. I love the
Halsey.
I mean, you know me, and I'm not didn't mean to bring it up this quick, but Lynch and what's reality, what isn't. That's a big thing in Brain Dead as well. Like, and he's fucking with brains.
Well, because we don't want to digress purely into cinema, but I need to mention one film because I say this to everyone who's a horror person. A lot of people don't know it, but it was made by like a major filmmaker, and it's not necessarily a good film, but you know, like those horror films that are so just late night schlocky and awesome that you just don't really care.
Oh,
like, got the right actors, the right people. So has anyone here seen Blood Creek?
No.
Blood Creek? No.
So it was directed by Joel Schumacher. Like as in Batman and Robin, Joel Schumacher later on in his career. It is a horror film starring Michael Fassbender and Henry Cavill, super early in their careers. Michael Fassbender, it's set on like a Idaho Midwest property, and Henry Cavill's like a farmhand.
Mm-hmm.
And they somehow awaken an undead Nazi played by Michael Fassbender. If you have never seen this film, you have to fucking watch it. It is batshit, and it was like what they would call a high budget horror film. It was like a $30 to $40 million budget.
2008.
In 2008. So it was quite a high budget horror film for that period.
Damn, dude,
and it's absolutely mental. You need to see it. I'm not saying it's good, but it's 100% worth a watch if you love that sort of horror. It's just batshit that it was even
Blood
made.
Creek.
You're like, these actors, where they went after that, what? This is cooked.
Dude, that guy.
I have a quick recommendation for you. The Retaliators, dude. We had the Gear Brothers on.
Gear Brothers.
We did an episode with them. I don't know if you watched it, Colin.
I did. I loved that one. Anything with these like indie filmmakers, I'm all here for.
Yeah.
It's like our sort of music. They don't necessarily have the best livings. They don't make the best money. But holy shit, do they care about what they make?
Yeah.
What happened on that show is possibly going to turn into a side podcast that we've been working on and behind the scenes.
Shit.
Yeah, dude. It's
more than keen on that.
We'll talk to our lawyers about that. We'll see.
Nah, dude. Poor man cinema, dude.
Right? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Those guys are really cool, and it's so cool that they have a few scripts in their pocket too, ready to have new stuff made, dude.
No, and they seem like good dudes. So good on giving them some exposure. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean Carrie's their brother, so of course we would.
I feel like they were giving us exposure, you know. I was like, man, I was in Japan when that episode.
It's crazy though, like reviews, and because I follow them now and they post like reviews and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, man, that's so cool that like it's that strong, you know, for being, you know, independent like it was, you know.
Yeah. No, it's awesome they're able to do what they're doing, and any of those guys doing that sort of work, I fully respect and appreciate, because fuck, that is a hard slog. We think music's hard. That's a whole nother level of hard. I don't want to deal with lawyers and other bullshit and all that other stuff.
Well, Darren, like Carrie's brothers, I always joke around about them, is they just have like this gene, like they just like Carrie's brother. I mean, Darren's been in so many bands in Hollywood that have, you know, got signed to pretty big labels and all the things, and then one day he's just like, I'm gonna do movies now. Like, while he's like
life of the party genes.
Yeah,
they're the life of the party guys. You know,
there's a dude from that movie,
movie,
Orange County, like one of the co-stars with Jack Black, made a movie with Darren when they were teenagers. It's called
True.
Fuck. And and I forget the name. Something Boys, something not Lost Boys, but something like that. And we used to have the posters everywhere in Carrie's room when I was a kid. And I remember I met, his name's RJ. He's been in like a bunch of Budweiser commercials and stuff too. But I remember I met him when I had like my first like partied out moment when I was a kid. I was on the bathroom floor, had been throwing up all night. And he's like, hey, do you mind moving your head so I can piss? I'm all, hey, RJ, you're from Orange County, you're Jack Black. That's crazy. I'm like a little kid, just don't piss on my face. Everything's cool.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like move my head away from it. I hope.
I was like 16, so I would be a little. You know.
We've all been there.
Is that your first celebrity encounter?
Yeah, I'm like, what's up, brother? I'm all nice, looking good. I'm just kidding.
Looking good. Looking good. but yeah, to kind of I think your question, to bring it back from the film thing.
I don't even know what it was.
Algorithm, synthwave music, and then the third part, which is now it's coming in more, is my love of just extreme metal that combines more industrial elements and stuff. Which is a good point to shout out to some of my good mates, the Amenta.
Oh yeah, we toured with them. Yeah, we toured with them.
Huge fan of those guys. Eric and that fucking the best dudes to hang out with. I just hung out with them like a few months back at Emperor, so it was good to see them again. First time in 10 years, so because they hadn't toured, COVID happened, shit happens.
Yeah.
Good.
We had Robin on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, Robin was the drummer.
Yeah,
when we
Robin, good old Frog. Yeah, no, I met him for the first time at that show.
Frog, dude.
I met him for the first time there, so it was really nice to catch up with him too, because we've talked shit on Instagram as well a couple of times. So
yeah.
No,
he's an absolute sweetheart.
Shout out Blast Bonk.
Blast Bonk.
That's right. Blast Bonk. Yeah. That's awesome.
Wasn't he like sitting on the floor the whole time too? I think he was like his couch was.
Oh yeah, he was moving around a little bit. Yeah, I still tell the story about the spiders and shit that you guys have to deal with. That he was like kind of dealing with the kind of trees that were like similar to Christmas trees. And there's a spider. There's like this one like the most deadly spider you guys have, but it doesn't. You have to like really fuck with it to like for it to bite you. But you just have them on him all the time. Yeah, I know. He'd have them on him all the time. Just like and I'm just like. You guys are fucking.
Oh, and they're like super deadly.
You guys are a different breed. They're like the most deadly.
Well, yeah, I ain't made for that shit. I'm arachnophobic, so fuck that.
God, you're in the wrong place.
I'm really starting to learn that as I get older in life. You know, as you rethink everything in life, you're like, what have I been doing wrong?
Yeah. That's I'm arachnophobic too. It's like total. There's that one episode with Disruption. I had a spider jump at me off the screen. That's like a clip.
That was funny, dude. That was funny. Watching the playback of that was hilarious.
I don't know if I've seen that. So I need to see that shit at some point because I listened to that episode, but I don't remember. I wasn't watching. I don't always watch the video, obviously. So I'm like, I don't remember that. I need to see that shit.
Oh, there's been multiple animal fights on the show too. Like that should be in the mix. Like
mostly cats
fighting, and then Joel fighting a spider.
Thankfully, my cat's sleeping outside, so he's pretty chill at the moment.
Yeah. No, like I basically
Casey had to be front row for a cat fight. Actually, here at the place I'm at right now.
Oh God.
There was one that night. Oh, you're right. Holy shit, yeah.
Because you were sitting at the table, which is right next to their like play area.
I remember Travis from Cali.
Yeah, that was one of the classic ones.
That's like one of the biggest ones.
It's on the clip. Yeah, I try to put them on the clip if they happen, just to like put them in there. But there was one at my ex-girlfriend's place, and then there was one when I was up there visiting you guys, Anthony. And then, so I've had two on. It's pretty funny.
Shit.
All right.
All right. Well,
I want to ask
you. Yeah, go for it, Joseph.
Fire away, gentlemen.
So at the time you were getting into like algorithm type stuff, did you play guitar yet, or were you like mostly just a electronic producer?
My musical history is long and complicated. So at the age of about, sorry if this is a bit long-winded.
No, dude, take it away, dude.
At the age of about,
you have the mic.
Thank you. At the age of about 5, I had about 2 years of classical flamenco training.
All right.
I have had, bits of piano tutoring throughout my life. Not ever committed to anything, but, just understanding basics. I can't say I'm good at it, but I can do enough to work, MIDI controllers next to me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was a jazz clarinetist for my entire life from 16 to 20.
Nice.
At school, I played in Dixieland combos, big bands, orchestras,
like Benny Goodman type stuff.
Yeah, like full swing music and shit.
That's crazy.
So like legit swing jazz.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, like I was saying before we jumped on, my whole family's like that. My dad's was a sculptor. My brother's got a PhD in music, and he's a violinist.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's sort of just part and parcel of my family. My mum used to do French stuff, like speaking French and that. So like, we all try and have some sort of
Did mom play
artistic
instruments too?
From memory, she can play a bit of piano.
Okay.
My dad was like, I think he was like bagpipes and marching band stuff when he was at school. So bit more chaotic, but he became a sculptor for quite a while in his life before becoming a high school teacher.
So you're just naturally seeing everybody just constantly create around you.
And I've always been
remember.
Yeah, and I've always been in music. Like it's not something I grew up when I was growing up, I also did a lot of like show theater productions like Oliver and Pirates of Penzance and stuff like that, like singing backline and shit like that. I did drama sort of stuff, always tried to apply myself and do things. And then once I got out of school, my first proper band was a band with some good friends of mine. Shout out to Geordie, Paddy, and Mike. was a band called and Johnson and Sam. Sorry, I can't forget the 2 bass players we've had during that as well. That was a band called Apex Null, and we were like, I can't say we were great, but I had a lot of fun. You know, when you do your first band, you really fucking love it. We were like a crossover of like Opeth and The Haunted is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
So like proggy sections, but then a lot of like really fast melodic, no, I wouldn't say melodic death, but more leaning on melodic thrash side of things.
It sounds more intricate than I thought it would have been.
I can't say we did it well. but we,
the way
but we
that you
loved
described
doing
it, yeah, I didn't think that it was that like thought out, but it sounds pretty thought out. And I was just thinking like those situations in life are just learning how to work with other humans in one space for, you know, X amount of time. At, you know, you're getting the jam space vibe. Like, can I?
Oh yeah, it's like I already knew how to work in an orchestra and stuff, but that's compositional work, so you already have a foundation and you all know what you're playing. You're exactly right. When you come into a situation for the first time where you're like, hey, we're writing shit and no one knows what they're doing and we're not doing covers or something else, you know, it's an interesting time. And it's a
weird time too, especially if you don't know those dudes completely, because then you're starting to learn about them through whatever they're trying to contribute to writing.
I was
song, you know?
very lucky in my circumstance. My drummer was a dude I went to high school with. My guitarist was a guy I went to university with. The other guitarist was a guy I went from the age of 5 through every year of schooling with.
So you have plenty of, backstories, all the dudes.
Yeah, and we all knew each other and there was no issues ever or anything. But it was just like, it was fun to make tunes.
Right.
And then partway during that, I personally got into more and more extreme music. You know, like high school.
How'd you come across it?
Well, like probably about age of like 11 or 12. And I remember this, like I said, way too much memory recall. I was 11, possibly 12. That's the only part I don't remember is the exact age. But it was at a friend's pool party in primary school. So primary school's pre-high school, college, you know, stuff.
Like middle school.
And, you know, it was, I do remember specifically, it was a girl's 16th or 17th birthday. And stuff's playing. And while everyone was in the pool, one of the guys jumped out that I didn't really know very well from our school. And what ended up happening is he swapped out the CD and he chucked Great Southern Trendkill in.
Nice.
But he put it straight to Suicide Note Part 2.
Oh, no.
So it was like, no one's expecting that. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? And the
Even
great words
from
of
the front of
Starship
that
Troopers,
album, though, too,
would you like to know more?
Know what's happening.
Oh, it was nuts. Like, it was the craziest thing I'd ever heard, like, at that age. Before that, I was into, like, you know, pop punk and dumb pop music and stuff, being a primary school kid, you know, just liking music. That happened. And it was quick descent downhill after
that. Yeah. That's a gateway band.
So was it a positive thing, or what were you feeling
it was
in
sick.
That moment? Yeah.
Oh, it was positive as hell for me. It was. I still remember too. After that, a few weeks later, I was at like a Big W here or something, like, you know, like a supermarket sort of place, and they had CDs out, and like, so, you know, we're talking in the 90s, obviously. I'm 38, by the way, so I'm a similar age to you guys.
We're the same age, dude. So I'm feeling you right now.
You know how I feel. And I remember seeing Great Southern Trendkill there on that new release rack. And I was like, hey, Mum,
big
can
old
I have
rattlesnake staring at you.
And my mum was just like, yep, all right, whatever. My parents weren't big on censorship and other stuff, which I do love them.
Neither were mine, which was a plus.
Oh, hell yeah. I see it as a plus because it let me understand like the maturity of things earlier on my own. I didn't have to have someone like lecture me on it.
Expanded the horizons a little bit more, you know?
Oh, for sure. What were we talking about? Sorry, now we're getting sidetracked again.
We're getting exposed to more extreme music at that pool party. It was
Pantera. And then the following year, I was then getting into more extreme thrash. So Slayer, Older Exodus, Testament, Creator.
And you're doing just all the digging yourself. No other friends are digging with
you?
No
one. Most of the guys at my school, like the heaviest they went at the start before I started sort of digging. And, you know, we started sharing stuff and whatnot. And people developed as they went through. Most of those guys were, you know, your typical at that age, System of a Down, Slipknot, Rob Zombie. Like those were the three things. And I like that stuff. Like, don't get me wrong.
I do too.
They wrote some sick tunes. I can't deny it. But I sort of wanted to go deeper and more extreme. So I went more in that thrash direction. By a bit later in high school, like finishing up high school, an old guitar friend of mine, Keegan from school, I still remember him going, "You got to check this out." And he gave me a blank, like what was a blank CD. It didn't have anything written on it or anything. He's just like, "Here, you got to listen to this." Chucked it on when I got home. And that ended up being The Sound of Perseverance by Death.
Nice.
And then it changed massively after that because I kind of just went deep diving into. I sort of went more in like a deathcore melodic death direction, and then came back around to extreme death and slam, and like my favorite bands is Cryptopsy and Suffocation. So
nice.
I'm more your old school extreme death side of things.
So would you think that it was like the melody of Chuck's riffs that sent you down that first, metal? Would you say it was deathcore, metalcore?
Well, that double kick and just having vocals, like I always liked extreme vocals, but for a while there I was a bit backwards and forwards about how much I liked them. And I always found Chuck's like particular accent and tonality and his enunciation was just at that time was just savage. It was sharp. It cut with the notes. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like it was just. It wasn't as blunt, but like at the same time, my favorite Cannibal Corpse, song is "Pounded into Dust." So like that's as blunt as you get for Cannibal Corpse. So like, yeah, take that with a grain of salt.
That album turned 24 today.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, today it did.
That is actually terrifying.
I know, right?
But yeah, so just more and more extreme. I always listened through the whole of high school and stuff. I was always into electronic music too. So I always listened to a Montauban, Aphex Twin, Square Pusher, Ortesha.
I was gonna say Aphex Twin was I was getting some vibes from some of your stuff.
Thanks, man.
I was like, there's no way that he didn't come across Aphex Twin,
yeah, like you can't not, and in my opinion he's one of those guys that's almost polarizing in electronic music. I don't think you can genuinely hate him unless you just don't have taste.
I truly agree with that, dude.
I don't mean that and like saying you're like you have to listen to him, but I think everyone who's heard him can recognize the genius of what he's doing.
Right.
And that it isn't just a one-off thing, and he is very individual.
What's the one album? It's a double album, and like Drew X.
Yeah. I'm terrible. With
I can't even. You don't even know how to say it, but
no. Like that's electronic music in a nutshell. Half the album titles like dots and things.
Well, that one also introduced me to the idea of prepared piano, which is
hell yeah.
Basically, putting things in various spots, literally physical objects in your piano. To change the sound of
change the sound and tonality and pitch and everything.
An interesting discussion, I think, that it's one to have. I don't know if we need to do it tonight, but is the difference between like kind of in that whole era of like 70s kind of time or whatever you're thinking of, like say Tangerine Dream or like Kraftwerk is a more commercial, but like like a lot of people associate like the early electronic stuff music coming from like German like type shit. But also like there, and of course it was happening in the 60s and 50s, and actually even like way back a little bit with like all the French stuff, music concrete and all that stuff. But like taking like the genres of like, okay, so like you could I think that they didn't call themselves minimalism. It was like krautrock, but it's not krautrock, but it was like basically the German stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you got minimalism. So then you got like Philip Glass or like Terry Riley and Steve Reich and all that kind of stuff, Lamont Young, all that. And then there's like the experiment, like, and then there's John Cage or like the experimental type shit.
Yep.
And of course John Zorn and all the guys and all that. But there's like, they're all different, like kind of things that kind of like meld together in certain ways. But like, I feel like minimalism has is really cool, but it has a very like specific artistic statement that just kind of is like it's like a display or like what am I thinking? Like an artistic thing, like what do they call
presentation?
That? Yeah, like it's like making a point, like but it's not necessarily the most fun to listen to. It's not like music made to just like
statement.
Like some people like when you write music to like give you that like the best energy it can be. Like with, I feel like that's with metal.
Yeah, you're talking about like evocative music where it's prompting an emotional response, even if it's something that's not exactly like complex or anything. Because the thing is, some of the weirdest sounds can prompt those things.
Yeah, and so I kind of feel like it's like, okay, if you take like three sides of it, like experimental is like on the farthest away from, it's just like pure artistic, like just doesn't matter if the music makes you feel good or not, or if it's even music, it doesn't matter. And then in the middle is like that minimalism where it's like, well, it's still like Philip Glass stuff. It's like, it's still musical, and it's still like, it's like soundtracky, but it's also like artistically put in this point of like the certain repetitions and things.
Yeah, like there's construction of some sort of like normal music
structure in this. Yeah, and then there's like the but I feel that like a lot of electronic music in general, even your music or stuff that we were talking about earlier, the Tangerine Dream stuff, all that is like free of that though. It's like it's a different, like, you can't call it minimalism. It's not, you know, and it's not experimental. I mean, it has elements of like, especially the first 3 albums of Tangerine Dream are very experimental, but most of that music, like after that, and like all the, you know, up into the stuff we're talking about, Stranger Things or all this, whatever, like all the different in betweens, like that music still has like a sound or a palette like that's like really like pleasant. Like there's something about it that's like, it's not just artistically like jarring for that statement. It's like the music itself is built to be as good as just like classical is, or just like death metal and other things, even though to some people death metal is jarring, but Necrophagist or something, like, you know, it's just like, it's pretty, it's like a pillow.
Necrophagist ain't so jarring. Let's go Necrophagia.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a long point I was saying. But I was listening to your stuff earlier and I was just like, dude, like this is so fucking cool. Like I love the electronicsy stuff. Like I love all of it. I love the metal like mix too. But like I think it's really cool, like with soundtrack stuff, or even these composers that we're talking about, like being able to like venture into like the experimental and crazy stuff, but then also bring it into this like musical form that's like really pleasant to listen to. Like it's hard to do that. So I mean, all of it's good. I like all kinds of music and I love all the different arts and all the shit. But like on a regular basis, like I have like I put stuff in genres on my like playback stuff for Apple Music. And I just kind of change the genres. And so those are the playlists I do. I just put things in like metal, death, and certain genres. But I have like an ambient electronic genre, and I listen to that more than any other genre by far. Like
it's whatever triggers your brain when you need to listen to music. Because just because you love playing death and love death doesn't mean it's the thing that holistically makes you feel better in life. When you're like, I love death metal, but sometimes if I chuck some shit on, I'm like, fuck, I can do 2 songs at best, bro, and I'm done. You know, there's metal albums where they're like, we are doing 70 fucking minutes and you will listen to every blast beat.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Vital Remains. I love Vital Remains, by the way. Dechristenize is one of the sickest death metal albums ever.
Yeah,
my Easter tradition before I had my partner living with me, my old housemate Tim, shout out to him. He's in a group. I believe he's in it. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to be really bad here. Pretty sure he's in a group called Malignant Aura, who are a death doom sort of thing here. We used to have an Easter tradition. When it hit Easter, we would play the intro from that. You know, the whole like hammer down the nails, let the killing begin, Jesus sacrifice.
Yeah.
That was our Easter tradition, was having a beer and putting that on together.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Hammer down the roofs. So just like hear that, like, yeah, I'm fucking in, boys. Let's go.
I mean, everything that you guys just talked about is really just like how much tension and release do you want in your listening experience at that moment, you know?
Damn straight.
100%. Yeah.
And Vital Remains is tension the whole fucking time except for like the solos. Then you get release on the solo parts where it gets all melodic.
If you're lucky, you know? They stop blasting under a solo, but the double kick is still the same speed, so it's kind of not really relevant anyway, and you're still getting pummeled to fuck while you're listening to it. Like, have you ever heard a backbeat on a Vital Remains track? Like, with just like like an Iron Maiden fucking gallop.
Right.
Exactly. I'd laugh so hard.
It'd be funny if they like took like a whole giant like classical concert that all these people thought they were going to, and they got like fooled, and then
that would be awesome.
Comes down and it's just Vital Remains or something, like, and they're just like sitting there like,
how quick
yeah,
people would leave.
One of my favorite black metal bands ever is kind of like that, where it's like a lot of blasting, very neoclassical moments. I don't know if you guys like them or not. Keep of Callison.
Oh
yeah, dude.
That's like
some of the fastest speed picking that I had
The
heard.
Vengeance Rising. It's
Dude, that
fucking
album,
absurd.
Was it Armada or something? Is that
Armada. Yeah.
That album just
That
blew
shit.
my fucking wig, dude. That's why I'm
still
bald
to this
now.
day. It's cooked, dude. It's still to this day. I'll chuck that album. I'm like, how is this like nearly 20 years ago? How? It's faster and more extreme than any shit now. Still,
and
it's just cool.
And the mix is great. Everything's right out there in the mix. It was that. I was wondering why that album didn't blow that band up more, I still didn't hear too many people talk about that band. Like I
think it was lineup changes because they kind of had a lot of vocalist changes and stuff. And the good thing is now for the last like probably decade, Earl and what's his name? Earl and C or whatever his name is, the guitarist.
Casper.
Obsidian C. I'm trying to remember these black metal names. He's like a freak musician, freak guitarist and everything, but he's also now the vocalist for like the last bunch of albums. So the guy who was playing all that insane speed picking is now doing vocals at the same time. And I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. That's ridiculous.
Casey, Joel, and I have spent a month on the road with that guy. He was nothing but
no. It's a different one.
Dude.
Oh, you just said Casperson
after.
No, he said the
last. No. So that's where I got it. Obsidian C is who I'm talking about. Erlen Casperson was that tech bass player guy from Spawn of Possession.
And I said Casper.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I always fuck up names.
Yes, works at the heart. Correct. SOP Erland. That is.
I just heard Erland C, and I was like, the homie.
That guy's also a legend. I've been watching his shit on YouTube and listening to his albums since the shit existed. So he's a freak.
He is I mean, not to bring up Igor again because we just saw him and we're all freaked out, and that was
bring
one of
up
the
Igor.
days.
That
was yeah. But like Erlen, like that his personality is perfect for that band because he's so different and unique as a human being too. But he's also like a ripping bass player. But he's got his own style to him that's like no one I've ever met in my life because I've been on the road with him for a month and stuff like that, and All Seeing Eye. That's right. He was an All Seeing Eye, right? That was Erlen's band.
That's one of the ones he's been in.
Yeah.
Blood Red Throne is the fucking
Blood Red
OG
Throne.
best. I love.
Yeah,
Blood
that's
Red
the one.
Throne.
Yeah, I saw them actually. That's the first time I saw Dimmu live. Was they were opening for Dimmu, and they were like, "Come on out!"
What?
And I just, like, was me, and Matty Way, and like all like met up there. I like first had to, it was one of those days where I was like, still touring musician guy, and I was like, all right, so I got to go say what's up to Veil of Maya at fucking Slim's, and then watch their set, and then maybe watch a little bit of Periphery or something, and then we ran over to fucking Regency, and then saw Erlen play with fucking with Blood Red Throne, and then Enslaved, and then Dimmu with Derek Demon Carcass was there, and he was going like, because to me I was just Dimmu in my head was just this band I knew I wasn't gonna like. I made that decision up before I heard them. I don't know why, just maybe the logos, or I don't know why. Like I was like, it's a Cradle of Filth band, I'm not gonna get into it. And I went there and I was like, they played most of like fucking that puritanical. Yeah. They played most of that album live.
Euphoric Misanthropia.
Yeah.
It's called.
They played that most of that album live, and Derek was like smacking me, going like, "Dude, they never play all these songs like from that album. Like, this is insane." And I'm like, I was like, at the time, I mean, the light show and everything, I was like, this is one of the sickest bands I've ever seen. Like, I was completely blown away. And
their production is ridiculous at that point. By that life, their production already.
Dude.
Yeah, that changed
my
world.
Where we saw Igor, I saw Dimmu on the Puritanical tour with Cryptopsy.
Jesus.
And it was, I was so Joel, you know how the balconies were where we were.
Yeah.
If we were to take a right and then go towards the stage on the other side of the on that side, just looking down on the stage, watching the intro to the album being played by their key organist or whatever. He was fucking, that thing was huge, dude. I don't even know what he had, like multiple keys, but it was.
He was like a Terry Bozzio of keyboards.
It was crazy, dude. And he did the whole intro, and you know how how we're
He's like,
talking about tension and release. That intro to that album is full on tension and release, and then they go into that first track, dude, and you just see Nick Barker fucking.
Oh yeah,
the blast
dude,
machine. That dude's a
eagle eye
freak.
on Nick Barker and everybody that's on stage, dude. It was amazing, dude. That album, that was an anticipated album by me. Joel, you were a little late to that game because I was already the Cradle fan and Dimmu fan, and what was the one right before it? A Spiritual Dimension, some shit. Black Dimension, Spiritual Black Dimension.
Spiritual Black Dimension. So there's actually a weird link. I'm not sure if you guys know this. So one of the albums, I might have to bear with me while I'm going to do a quick Googling while we're talking.
Go for it. Yeah.
I'm going to have a look. So Dimmu Borgir. So I grew up watching a lot of like hardcore bands and, you know, underground Aussie metal bands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an Aussie metal band I remember growing up watching called Stronger Than Hate. And they were like a
familiar
hardcore sort of band, right?
Stronger Than Hate, dude. What the fuck? What would you call that, dude?
I don't know.
Straight,
full hate.
dude.
Full hate.
Full of hate.
Just like mildly brewing hate.
It's funny when you said because you say like an Aussie band, so I was thinking of like imagine having like Ozzy Osbourne singing like a metalcore band.
well, so the lead guitarist on Spiritual Black Dimensions is an Australian guy that was living in Norway at the time who had the stage name Astanu. And I grew up watching him in hardcore bands after he was in Dimmu, and he was just standing on a baseball cap playing riffs. It's fucking sick.
He moved out to Norway, and now
but he was literally in Dimmu Borgir for like a bunch of albums.
Wow.
Damn,
that's wild.
Wow.
Yeah. If you look up Astanu, you'll see he's got a bit of a history. So it says, just having a look here, he's the Aussie black metal band Lord Chaos, and that's how we met them over in Norway.
Okay.
And
is
then,
that when the dude from Old Man's Child, did he join Dimmu at that time too?
After around the same time, yeah. So this Aussie guy was on Godless Savage Garden and Spiritual Black Dimensions.
Godless Savage Garden, dude.
I was probably listening to Savage Garden when that came out.
Actual Australian man, I lived through that shit. You know I did.
It was like 96, 97.
I think it might have been like 97, 98 or something.
It was around that time. I think it was maybe 98, 99, but yeah, it's like basically the same era.
I'm all just jamming Truly, Madly, Deeply. Like, dude, I love Savage.
Dude, I'm Australian. I heard that shit on every advert.
Were they Australian?
They're from Brisbane, where I live. So.
Oh shit!
That's
funny.
Like a town just south. It's like not even half an hour.
So is Savage Garden like what does that even mean? Actually, we were talking about another band that's not from Aussie, but
yeah. But yeah, I have no clue. I think it's just like in their context, it's probably some like half Lovecraftian,
okay.
Evocative imagery. If you just think about the concept of a savage garden, you can create your own image of what that is.
I'm thinking of a concept of a dude sitting in a silver chair in the savage garden.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
And now you said silver chair. God damn it!
I'm thinking back to that. I remember that time, and I remember like being like a young buck, and that shit came out, and it was like. And I was like, Savage Garden. I'm just like, what the hell does that mean? I didn't understand.
Dude, well, I'm thinking
but
like
Silverchair, though. I never questioned the Silverchair. I was a big fan of that first Frog Stomp album.
Man,
what about you, Colin? Dude,
they were children. They were like 13 years old when they broke out.
That first song was pretty good.
The frog on it. That's the
And also the song Madman. That's all like instrumental. And then at the end, he goes Madman.
No,
those dudes, drop D.
Those dudes definitely, whether you like it or not, they wrote a lot of sick music through their career. Whether it's your kind of music or not, they were very good.
I actually randomly watched a documentary. I watched a documentary on the singer like about a month ago, and like how he became super introverted and didn't want to talk to anyone. He like kind of like basically made the band go away, and he got like super weird and like didn't want to interact with anyone.
Darren Hayes.
Yeah, but it was drugs though. But
and we're not talking normal, like we're not talking like weed or booze. We're talking
no. We're talking hard.
We're talking hard.
Yeah, he was hard. That was hard.
Yeah,
I guess a savage garden would be like carnivorous plants and poisonous plants all mixed together. It's just all savage. Dude.
Just a bunch of like fucking Venus flytraps.
It's literally Venus. It's like a terrarium of Venus flytraps. In the center is that plant that once every 10 years smells like rotting corpses. That would be the
that
ultimate
one.
savage
Exactly.
garden.
That's in the middle. It doesn't do
There's one in
anything that
Sydney
smells
in
like
Australia. Like every time it opens, people go down there to check it out because they're like, I want to see how bad this is.
I got one of those Venus flytraps when I was a kid and was so excited. Brought it home, went to San Francisco, got it, and I gave it a piece of hamburger and it died.
Yeah, they're not meant to eat like.
I remember just
like
I'm all, dude, this
mealworm
thing
or
is
something,
fucking
dude.
gnarly. It just all it goes like and just goes like it's just like all right.
All the seasoning and fucking factory
like,
farming.
I didn't know
mixed into that
Venus
one little
flytraps had allergies, dude. I didn't know.
Anyway.
I actually had those too, and they would catch the flies, dude. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
just walk, as a kid, I would walk up to me like, which one's closed today? Because I would know the ones that were closed were the ones that caught something, you know?
Yeah.
That is that's a trip. I mean, same with like Venus flytraps, and then actually seeing one in person blew my mind. And then fireflies when I was in Michigan at John from Black Dahlia's house, and I was smoking cigarettes back then. I remember looking at it and I'm like, these things are fucking real? I didn't know they were real. I thought it was like some sort of like fairy tale shit. And they were just everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They were just
Wait,
like
where were
everywhere,
you?
like right in front of me, Michigan.
Yeah.
And they were everywhere. And I was like, this is the sickest. I'm having the best time of my life right now. I was like, I smoked multiple cigarettes just to watch them. I was like, this is the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen.
Fucking psychedelic, actually.
Yeah, I know. They're bright as fuck too. It was in the daytime. I was
all
like,
over the place.
Yeah, I was like,
I
holy
saw a lot
shit.
of them in Missouri, dude.
Yeah,
the nights in Missouri, it was like that, dude. It was just so wild, and even to catch one in a jar, and then see it,
I didn't get to do that.
Dude, it was crazy.
God,
it's a classic story. Like so many people did it, but I did that, and I was like, "Whoa, this!" You get to finally like get close to it and see like the bioluminescence that's happening. Dude.
Yeah.
Your own like personal National Geographic situation, you know.
It's like it's a flying jellyfish. Anyways,
we digress.
Yeah. Which, by the way, a flying jellyfish would be sick as fuck, dude.
That's progress.
Tell us more about Australia. Tell us more about.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God. What do you want to know?
Like bug wise and all the things you're talking about. Just.
Oh man, there is some shit like obviously snakes are pretty common.
Tell us the closest call you had in your life.
Sitting on a bench and there was a brown snake under it and I didn't realize.
Shit.
No.
And then it slithered out between my feet.
I'm guessing those are poisonous.
Just sitting there
those are like one of the most poisonous.
Brown snakes are one of the most poisonous snakes.
Yeah, that's what like rattlesnake. You love a rattlesnake instead of a brown snake.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm being deadly serious at those sorts of snakes. You brown snakes getting up into like your taipan viper kind of territory of venom.
Yeah, that's the one that you
deadly as, and they're common in pretty much every part of Australia.
Yeah, like a cobra is probably less venomous than a brown snake. I think. Yeah.
Wow.
A cobra is like chiller.
Cobra's chiller.
Immediately stop moving. That's what you're supposed to do. Stop moving.
Well, that's what I did. You just sit there, you freeze, and you hope it just like continues on.
Well, I was saying even after you get bit, because I mean you're pretty much done if you get bit. But if you get bit, you're supposed to immediately sit down.
Yeah, you don't want to move because any extra movement increases the
blood flow,
your blood rate, which pushes the venom through your bloodstream and makes it harder for any venom to
just
work.
Prolonging your chances.
This is a really dumb question
out there in the middle of nowhere
being asked in the chat, but it's also one that I've never got confirmation on. Is the toilets clock?
Which way does it spin when you flush?
I think
I've honestly never.
I'm gonna have to go. I have to go piss right now. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go see it. I actually was just about to, but.
I'm like, do I have to go and check? Do you want me to go and find out?
I'm gonna go check for you right now. You're real quick.
All right,
just do it, dude.
All right, I'll do it. We're gonna be 1 second. 1 second, lad.
You guys, go
ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, we're all gonna piss. All right, Casey, it's on you.
Damn.
I sadly can't answer your question. about the dunny, because my toilet is one of those more modern ones where it like flows in from every direction, so it doesn't actually create the spiral. It just like flushes.
Oh
it.
damn.
So I wish I'm sure someone else can confirm or deny.
Yeah.
Are you looking at brown snakes? Yeah, they look cooked.
You see it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so that's what they look like?
Yeah. Just legitimately, they're brown and they're a snake and they suck. That's
They're
like
that
the
small?
name says it all, a brown snake.
Wait, they're all small, like in the hand on this?
No. Those are babies. They
Okay.
get look if you want to look up brown snake full size, and you'll see how big they get. And you're just gonna be like, why? Let's see if we can see actual scale. I'm gonna try and find. So a full-grown brown snake is between 1.5 to 2.4 meters, which is 1.5 m in feet. Is 4.9 feet. The smallest at an adult size. They can be double that.
I'm only 5'7", dude. I only got I don't even have a foot on that.
I just want to view the image.
Oh, dude, I've had a carpet python at my house because I live where there's like a bit of bush and stuff at the back, and we had a carpet python that, I'm not kidding, was probably 4 or 5 meters.
Well, look at this one.
Like in full scale. I mean, they're not venomous, thankfully.
Mine went. I just flushed my pee. It went straight down. It didn't.
I know, me too. I was
That's what I just said. I'm like,
I was
mine's some modern
cracking
fangled
up.
shit and it just pulls it in. I'm like, there's no fucking
Mine went
spiral.
right in
What
the
is
middle.
this?
It just shot it down the middle. Just like there's nothing. I just started laughing.
I was like, I guess I'm just on the center of the earth, dude.
Well, I was making up a thing in my head. I was going like, dude, I think it goes clockwise. Dude. I was like, while I was peeing, I'm like, I think it's clockwise. Like, I think I've seen it. It's gonna go this way in my head. And I just do it so just like goes into there. I started cracking up as hard as I could.
I did.
There's no spin.
I was laughing for sure.
Well,
Well,
toilets are too
snakes
suction.
are fucking scary, dude.
Yeah, snakes, especially on a plane.
All these motherfucking snakes.
I've never seen that movie, but it just comes to my mind.
But that's such a famous quote. There's like, why are these all these motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane? Or
dude, why are these motherfucking snakes in motherfucking Australia though? That's
basically in Australia. Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, okay. So my thing is this: like, what was native there? Do you know what was native on the island?
Pretty much everything that's trying to kill us.
But I mean,
an animal.
Other things like you go to Hawaii, there's non-native species of animals that have been brought there, and then
like obviously cattle, grazing things, sheep, things like that.
Yeah, Australia's actually big on cattle.
Well, like Australia's got a huge beef production industry. I still remember the first time I ever went to Japan, and I was like, I've slaughtered as fuck, and I'm like, I just need to eat. So you stop at a Macca's or whatever. I remember getting a quarter pounder in Japan, and I pick up the burger, and I look at like the tray placemat, and it's got like an Aussie farmer on a green hill going. It's 100% Aussie Queensland beef, and I'm like, I'm literally eating the same patties I have at home.
I mean,
this is weird.
Out here is a place called Safeway. You go to Safeway if you want to get grass-fed beef. It's from Australia.
Well,
is it really?
We're one of the biggest exporters for that stuff in the world, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Look at the size of our country. How much land is there? There's so much grazing. We live on like bugger all of the percentage of our country, and we're like the size of, multiple countries.
Yeah,
each state is a country in size when you think about it. So
it's crazy how like
the United States is it big? Is it like the same size as the United States?
I remember this sort of trivia. Let's find out. We need to know this story.
Yeah. I remember it being like someone putting like a Australian thing on like the continent on the United States, and it was like the same.
Australia's only slightly smaller than the United States.
Yeah, but you guys are all like small little bubbles on the coastal area.
Yeah, and lower populations and stuff. American cities, obviously, your huge ones can push into your tens of millions.
Yeah.
I think Australia's entire population at the moment is probably 20-something million, 30 million.
Right.
Like in the entire. So you think about the size of the country. Imagine just New York living across the whole of North America.
Yeah.
That's literally what I'm talking about. And that's Australia.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So just the whole center is just way too gnarly and hot and not enough water and stuff. Like that's
yeah,
kinda...
like there are places where people live out there and stuff.
Yeah,
there are towns. But generally, yeah, it's not exactly highly hospitable land, nor would you want to. There's a reason, particularly like the northern part of South Australia, which is known for its like mines and stuff. A lot of them disused. You guys would know it more as the backdrop to every sick, desolate sci-fi world you've ever seen in a movie.
Mad Max.
Yeah, Mad Max's. You've got
okay, yeah.
the recent Mortal Kombat. All the Outworld stuff was shot in.
Oh
Cooper
yeah,
PD.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
The old horror film Pitch Black with Vin Diesel. That was shot in Cooper PD.
Oh, okay.
If you start looking at that place and you look at the film shot there, you're just like, wait, what the fuck? Like it gets long and gnarly. Like there's so many weird genre movies made there because it looks like an alien planet.
I was watching a
arid
show
weird.
about your guys' truckers that go out there, and it's because it's so much nothing out there that they have this thing. They get hypnotized by the lines, and they just like crash all the time because it's just a long stretch of road with nothing around it, and just the lines. And like they're like, you can't stare at the lines. Like you have to look. Because just after like 100 miles of just nothing and just the lines, you could just be like, it's like it can just totally.
Before you read the chat, don't read the bottom one, please.
Oh yeah.
It's extremely racist and offensive.
It was that was kind of normal though, like normal speak. Was that ever like in like the early 2000s? Was that like would people say that like normally out there?
It's always been considered somewhat of a derogatory slang.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm just protecting you guys, like you say.
No,
not a word I would personally.
No, we're I know exactly what that means.
No. If you want to know, I'm not going to say that word, but if you wanted to know the word, the correct word is.
I'm not going to say it, but now I put it all together. I know exactly what is going on now.
Yes. So we've learned a lesson, chat.
No, I know that was a word that like so I'd never heard that word before the slang for it, and I remember. One Australian band we toured with like told me that word, and I like called them that because I never heard it. So I was like, I'm just gonna call you that. And they got super
and
mad.
like
we got super mad.
Yeah, because it's See, like he's apologizing there. So no harm done. Like it is a thing that people have used it, but nowadays it is like I don't want to PC fuckwit, but the reality is it is a derogatory.
When I first heard it, I was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are insane. Like I don't know, like saying that for I don't know. Anyways, but yeah. He's the word is abacus. So
he just now it's definitely everybody's gonna know what we're talking about.
Just look at the chat, you figure it out. But so
hey, these things happen, man. These things happen.
Yeah. No, definitely. So I mean, speaking of Aboriginals, so what's the story? What sort of Aboriginals were there? I always hear the story about England offloading a bunch of criminals. I
don't want to get too deep into it because I'm not the best person to talk about this stuff. I'm not as knowledgeable as a lot of people. But yeah, we've gone through a lot of shit with that. We recently just tried to have an amendment to the Constitution to allow them a voice in Parliament, which was, in my opinion, sadly denied. So they are not allowed to have a voice in our Constitution or Parliament.
But I mean, not necessarily fair. But like with the whole story about, we always hear like a very general dumb story about England just took their prisoners and just threw them over in Australia, and that's how Australia happened. It's like
that's literally it. We're a penal colony. Like we were, most people come from like some form of convict shit or English background. Other people came here to settle once it became more settled. And much like you guys had, your outlaws and your cowboys era. We had our bushrangers. Rangers. A bushranger is the same thing as an outlaw. So it's like you guys know Ned Kelly.
I can figure it out.
Google Ned Kelly. So this guy's gnarly. He's an outlaw from Australia. You'll see the pictures and you'll be like, what the fuck? He wore a giant metal tin can. Heath Ledger played him in a movie. Heath Ledger played him in a film. It's a very good movie if you haven't seen it.
It's kind of like your cowboys, pretty much. It's your
But they weren't frowned upon. Like they were outlaws, but people didn't frown upon them per se because they were considered like the common, Yeah, I love that Ned Kelly was a rat too, worked for the police. Yes, but I think they all did at that point. No, I think like a lot, you're talking about criminals here, so a lot of these people were. But have a look. So if you look at the pictures under the one on the right, under the about, like you'll see the armor. There you go.
Yeah, I
know
the
armor. Yeah. Oh, okay, interesting.
So this dude used to like hold people up and rob them in this. So when they shot at him, the bullets.
That's the singer of the Rolling Stones, right?
Where?
No, it's a singer of Portal.
It is Mick Jagger. I knew. I
think Mick Jagger played Ned Kelly in a film version in the 1970s. I'm not joking about that. There was also a Bushranger film about Mad Dog Morgan, I think, that had like.
They look like the Knights that said knee, like a cowboy version of the Knights that said knee from Monty Python.
Yeah, well, like this guy's he was a very interesting dude. That's 100% correct, B1. He's a very interesting character, but he's very famous for like his quote. When he was hung, because he did get caught and he was hung eventually.
Yeah.
A lot of people get their last piece of speech they're allowed to give before they're hung. And they're like, do you have any last final words? And his resting statement, which is like emblazoned in places, is such is life. That's literally what he said before he was hung. He just said such is life and then got hung.
Oh, shit.
Which is like, if that ain't a profound statement.
Yeah. He's all
shit happens. It's literally just like shit happens.
That's exactly what he's saying. Shit happens.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, but no. So there's a lot of rich history here, and
okay,
for good and bad. Let's say that it's like a lot of countries where
Well, yeah. I don't think any country has it.
Colonization always.
Has there been a country that's just all good like the whole time? It's just been good the whole time. Like, it's just like everything was good. There's like this
Mongolia?
one like Yeah,
maybe. But then they had like Genghis Khan and shit.
Genghis Khan was one of the earliest
world.
And here we are, like
maybe
we're like related to him because of
but it was good in Mongolia. Yeah, sorry,
he's related. Like, wasn't it like some crazy amount of percentage that everyone's related to him because he would just impregnated everyone?
Oh yeah, there's I remember reading something about that where there is a percentile of
over 1%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
World's population.
I know the place.
The world's population.
It's always been chill at, dude. It's always been chill.
Yeah, dude. Traced back to that, dude.
Exactly. But yeah, so
dude, this is it's so crazy because we're like 38 to 40. We're just like waking up and like finally getting a hang of being alive, and we're like, oh, dude, this is all this crazy shit that happened.
Don't you know it?
We live in America, and fucking we got the same situation with the Native Americans, and
we're just like a fly in the refrigerator that like hangs out for a little while, and like you just die in a couple days, and then like the grand scheme of things, totally. We're like a little blip.
Straight.
We get to kind of figure shit out. Oh, this is crazy. And we're next.
Well, and when we get old enough to realize that there's monsters around us, dude, we're like,
woo! Oh shit! Back to the band. Here we go.
Up our guard a little bit, dude.
Sure, it's not Monsters Among Us.
Hey
yo!
I mean, it's just as valid a term.
Hey, it wasn't me.
No, you're all good. But actually, while I'm remembering, because we were on a train of thought before we did the list. So I think we're talking about the band stuff.
Yeah.
That I was doing at the time. So I before Monsters. So Apex Null, and then near the end of that, I took over vocals for a band where I didn't end up recording anything, but I was with them for a bunch of years, which was a deathcore band called Cross the Lips of Grace, which sounds super Christian, but wasn't. Very much not. That was some of
when Judgment was, people.
No, but it definitely wasn't. But it was some of the best times I had, like learning the music scene.
Yeah.
And it's where I like started to sort of branch out and realize, because I was a vocalist when I was doing all that stuff. I wasn't playing guitar or that. I was a vocalist. So, breeing and doing gutturals and shit and doing all that sort of jazz. And yeah, I still remember that was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in band for a few years, because like we shared we were on a label called Skull and Bones Records at the time. So it was us. I can't remember all the bands, but it was us, the Amity Affliction.
Oh yeah.
So as in like the massive hardcore band.
Yeah, they're huge now. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so like I used to punch cones with some of them and stuff, like in back rooms and shit, and hang out with them, and then fucking
punch cones. Is that slang, or did you actually punch cones?
No, that's slang for smoking weed. using a bong.
Punching
a cone. It's a cone piece, so you punch a cone.
I'm glad I asked.
I love this, dude.
It's like the best slang word ever. You're punching a cone.
Let's go punch a cone real quick, dude. I love adding.
I don't even get how that works, but it works.
Well, because you're like this, like the motion. You're punching a cone.
Punching a cone, dude. Feels like a strangle cone, though. It's like a strangling cone.
Well, I think like because they roll a cone, it's like now there's
the cone joints,
becomes like so I was like punch a cone real quick, dude.
But no, like the actual piece in a bong, a cone piece.
He just got an idea for a song. He's got to work out the song "Punch a Cone," dude, real quick.
Well, maybe that could be like my real stoner, like alternative ego. If I just want to go fully drum and bass electronic, I can be cone puncher.
Cone puncher.
I'll just
like be like a black metal guy with like red eyes, but like gnarly
for square pusher.
Yeah, exactly. Puncher. Square pusher and cone puncher playing together. That'd be fantastic. But no, yeah. So I was in this band, Cross Lips, and I was sharing rooms with like Amity and stuff. And the other band we used to be on a label with at that time was Die Hard as Murder, which most people know that band now. So Cross Lips of Grace, our lead guitarist was Andrew Marsh. Andrew Marsh is the lead guitarist in Die Hard as Murder nowadays. So my deathcore band was where he came from originally, which is badass. So props to Marshy, sub. Those guys are fucking massive. And then on the other side, when I finished up with that band and we sort of went our separate ways, I was like, shit, what am I going to do? So I found all these dudes in Brisbane who had already started writing stuff. And that's where the project that I dedicated myself to for quite a while with those guys, which was called the Schoenberg Automaton, which is
the Schoenberg Automaton.
Yes.
I nailed it. Oh, dude, what the fuck is
the
that
Schoenberg Automaton? And we were like math tech death, early gen, sort of stuff. You guys probably dig it. I did the first EP and the first couple of years of touring, and then I left. And then Jake joined, and they did 2 more albums. They were in Canada, living there for a while and playing in Canada and shit.
Okay.
That band doesn't exist anymore, but like that was also some of the best musicians
we can listen to.
Oh shit, yeah. If you look up the Schoenberg Automaton, you'll find it all. Like, I'm gonna put it in the chat because
put it in the chat, please, because I'm not gonna learn. I don't want to learn how to type that right now.
No one wants to ever learn that.
Schoenberger.
I think I said it good, and then I fucked up, and then I said it good again.
Actually, you know what? One thing I want to do, Colin, since we're here, I want you to give us your best American accent.
Oh fuck! Where from though?
Just California, or whatever you want to do. Just whatever one you think of when you think of American.
Your best
like Californian. Like I go out to the surf, I catch waves, come back, have a burrito. That's life in LA.
Dude, you literally nailed it.
Pretty good.
Burrito.
That's
you
good.
fucked up on burrito.
say something else. Like one more.
Like I don't know. I've always been someone who likes using my voice too, so I don't mind putting on characters and shit.
Yeah.
You could be from New York or the Bronx, and then you're dealing with Big Tony and Vinny at the pizza shop.
Yeah.
It's kind of vernaculars. You just sort of pick it up. I've always had a weird thing for hearing accents and trying to mimic them and stuff. Whether it's
all right, Joel, your best Australian accent now.
What do you? I need to say something because I don't know. Whatever, Riff Casey is playing. Look hard. I'm just reading the comments.
Wait.
I mean, touring.
No, it's not.
I was just about to say, ask me something where I would have to say no, and I was gonna be like, no.
You have to say no.
It's like, Dive is coming over. Dive.
Yeah.
Dive. Yeah.
Hi, Dive.
Good night, Dive.
Yeah.
Good night, Dive.
It's got a plant right there.
My mate's coming over. Dive's coming over. Got a cone punching.
Yeah, exactly. Me and the boys are gonna have some billies out in the shed.
Yeah. Punching cans.
But I love like we had I had a
punch
friend that was
dude.
like a deep like Massachusetts like like one of the gnarliest accents ever.
Well,
And she's all
Boston,
like,
Boston,
yeah,
Massachusetts.
Boston,
Yeah.
Boston, back the car, the
Boston.
car's back, like all that shit. And I was
You
like,
gotta
she's
be a
all-
straight cocksucker to be from Boston.
She's all, what do you want me to say? She's all, park the car.
The car.
And I
Yeah.
died. I forgot. I
Boston.
forget where this was, but I was done. She's all, what do you want me to say? Park the car.
Yeah. Until you're all what? Yeah.
It's like actually,
It's
yeah.
like Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. I
They're
know
all
this is
in Minnesota. You have
yeah,
Yeah.
Minnesota.
gotta
Don't
park
you
the
know?
car over here and park the car over there.
Yeah. It's super Scandinavian kind of.
Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
Minnesota's like
Yeah.
an Australian.
Well, I mean,
I'm
literally.
sorry, Canadian kind of like Scandinavian
Yeah, it's
Canadian
like,
feel to it.
is, like,
Well, there's a lot of
you
Scandinavian
know?
people up there. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
hell yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my cousins from like Virginia and stuff would always just be like, "Wait, no, like, no," and I'm just like, "No," and they're like, because they're all like, "Nah," I'm like, "No, man," like it's like I don't know, I can't even do it. Like I'm like
Like-
worse at a southern accent than.
It's a weird thing. You if you guys ever try and learn another language, like I can't say I can speak another language fluently. I used to know bits of Japanese, but I haven't been there in years.
Oh,
I haven't
rad.
spoken it in a long time. But the one thing you got to remember is when you're picking up a vernacular, it's always a lot easier to learn mimicking tongue and like glottis, like how things move.
Mhm.
So like in Arabic dialects, I believe it's called an epiglottal stop. That like you hear in like any Arabic dialect, the like the hardest sound at the end.
Yeah,
that's called an
yeah.
epiglottal stop. So it's
Okay.
where you have to actually make your epiglottis go and cut short
Yeah.
on the word to have that sound. But then in like things like Japanese, you're going to be rolling your letters with your tongue. So, if I was going to say I know a little bit of Japanese, I'd be like, I'm just trying to. Nihongo ga skoshi wakarimasu ne. So you have to say wakarimasu, but it has to be wakarimasu. You have to roll the R. Otherwise, it
really?
doesn't come through. Arigato. Arigato. So you
Arigato.
always roll the
Like-
R. Arigato. You got to remember, if you
sound-
roll the R, it
Wait,
makes it
I do
easy.
that.
Wait, you
Arigato.
wrote R in Japanese?
Arigato. Arigato.
Arigato.
So if I
Wait,
went
man,
to
hold on a second.
arigato, if I went to say arigato,
Arigato.
they'd be like,
No,
Arigato.
they would fully understand you. Don't get me wrong, but rolling the R will help you
Arigato.
enunciate
Oh,
the word
interesting.
better
Oh.
because it forces you to do that lunge with your
Whoa.
dialect
Crazy.
when you're doing it. So
Interesting.
you're like, because most people go, if I want to do it as an Australian, I get let's just take off this accent, my normal talking voice, and let's go full Aussie. Be like, hey, going arigato, hey. Like it just doesn't really, it doesn't really sound.
Arigato.
It
Sounds like in Spanish it would be a cat named Ari.
yeah, exactly. Like
Arigato.
Arigato? Yeah.
Agato.
Pero?
So like it's weird what you can pick up by ear if you listen to enough languages. And like I was saying, I'm a film super nut in a lot of foreign movies and stuff, and I tend to like just listen and mimic. And that's not trying to be offensive or anything. It's more of a case of I find it very interesting hearing these way people interpret a word, languages and stuff like that.
When I shave, I use rise up lights.
yeah,
rise up lights.
rise up blades.
Rise up.
Rise up lights. Damn, that works perfectly. Rise up
Rise
lights.
blades on your skin, huh?
Yeah, it shows the ability of the human throat, dude. Like we're talking
Oh,
all
hell
of
yeah.
these different languages and how the mouth is very specific and how dialect happens and all that, and that's all within like the same. I want to see the chords. I've never actually looked at a picture of vocal cords.
I've
Is it
had
like a
the
vagina.
I've had the whole like camera down,
It does.
looked at my own shit. It's pretty weird.
really.
Yeah. So when I quit Schoenberg, it wasn't because I wanted to. I loved that band. We were on tour. I've said this on other podcasts, but like I may as well mention it. Basically had like a chest infection or something. Didn't realize I was overexerting myself from it, and then woke up, couldn't talk properly, coughing up blood, etc. That was my vocal career ended. I ended up. I could still do it now, but I can't tour. Like it would be too fatiguing.
Right.
I ended up suffering what's called again glottis. That's part of your throat. I suffered what's called a supraglottic constriction, which is think of it like your vocal folds are like that, undulating, right, like a triangle. and then like a hamstring or something, it's just gone. Ding!
Oh,
damn.
So it's not that I had bad technique; it's that I was over forcing things under stress.
It's like you popped a string, and there's no
in your throat.
There's no Ernie balls to restring it up.
Yeah. so like I had to have like a lot of ear, nose, and throat specialist visits. I saw a an opera vocal coach for nearly 2 years.
So the one that sprung or whatever sprung, like, were they able to reattach it, or is that just
no? It's not like that. I'm just using that more as like a generic thing. But think of it as like you torn a muscle. It's not completely severed.
Okay.
But it's so stretched, fatigued, and just cooked.
That
anything you thought you could do before is probably going to hurt it and probably cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I ended up quitting, was because of like a vocal medical thing.
So here's an interesting thing. You guys were talking about vocal cords and stuff. I brought up the clip, just a quick clip of the singer of Lorna Shore, has crazy voice, does all these crazy
they
things.
did that ENT thing. I saw.
Yeah. That's what it's like, right? It's this actual part where he's getting the camera in to like, sick, dude. My internet's just gonna crush it real quick.
No, you're all good. It's freaky. By the way, it's really freaky having this done, because you like they numb your throat and shit, but you still feel like the camera going up through your nose and down the back of your sinus.
Good. Hamper.
So it's through his nose.
And shout out,
yeah, it goes through your nose, not through your mouth.
Hopefully the worst part's over.
See, here we go. So this is where we're going to get to where your supraglottis is. So you see what I'm talking about? See, it's like a triangle. At the bottom, it's like a triangle. You'll see there's two muscle folds and a bottom fold. So it's like a triangle, and that's where the.
Oh, there's the vagina thing I was talking.
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about. The triangle area. So.
Beautiful.
Do you see how fucking weird that is?
That is so weird, dude.
Go ahead and stick your tongue out at me.
Somewhere out there's someone just like, fuck yeah, this is sick for the predators.
Like, if I'm being eaten by an alien, dude, that's what I see before I get sucked in, dude.
Yeah. It's like some weird like octopus mouth thing. It's pretty disturbing.
Probably looks like the.
I think he might even do metal vocals with it, right?
Go ahead and puff up those cheeks again.
Does he do? I forget. I haven't seen this whole thing.
Yeah, so like here, he's holding pressure in his mouth to close your throat.
Oh, okay.
Which is why he's doing that. And then as soon as he breathes, that's you breathing. So that's the constriction releasing.
I'm gonna stop vaping tomorrow watching this. I don't want to put vapor down there.
I've already fucked my body enough.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so you get a concept of like how complex. There you go.
Okay. That's some sci-fi.
Yeah, it's a trip out. It's a real trip out. Like, it's a weird looking thing. It's extremely odd, but the fact is, like, that is what controls all your vocalizations as a human, pretty much.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa. So it's like
high and loud, so.
Yep. So the muscle is shaping it, and then the opening is what's controlling the pitch and the vibration and the cadence.
Is it whistling? It's like, he's like laughing. It's like.
Yeah. Oh, it feels weird when you're doing it too, because like there's something down there, but it's not hurting you or anything. It's a really odd feeling having your camera down.
And now I want you to suck in. You're gonna do this. Go. Yeah, good. Good, and just breathe.
It's terrifying.
I know. It's like an alien movie.
It's actually not fascinating now, dude. Like,
oh no, it's awesome. Like it is awesome.
We all have these right now. We're all using them.
I am done with all the boring stuff.
Dude?
Cool.
You guys go to town. I'm just gonna hold this.
Okay, there's the most replayed part right here. We might
go to that.
Oh, pig squeal.
Pig squeal vocal fry.
See, it like shifts. It's actually on an angle. You're like this. You're like moving it across.
So if you come over here, hit this brightness button.
Oh, they want to see what it looks like too for this the yelling.
Yep, hit that button.
And growling.
Ah, that's better.
Yeah, because like most ENTs would never get to do this sort of shit with someone who do it. So it's
totally,
it's really interesting to them.
Good. Go for
it. But see what I mean? How it's not actually straight anymore?
Yeah.
It does like an S or like a
Yeah, you're
Z,
actually like choking
or a
yourself with
C.
constricting the muscle to create the sound.
So
So it's like it's a real trip out.
It comes from his left side. It pushes
Yeah.
over.
All right.
Not
cool.
comfortable with the scope that close. but
Definitely not, but that's cool. We're out
Something
here.
different. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, as you guys can see, that's pretty. It's a bit of a trip out. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, it's all the same for all the fried kind of like
Dude,
growls
we
or anything.
all have said you need to phlegm it up, dude. And look, the phlegm happens when he does a Matty Way, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because
phlegm
your
up
body,
the
will, depending
hole.
on what you're doing, it'll create that naturally. So
That's
Yeah, we just
amazing,
forgot
dude.
a bunch of
it's fucking gnarly.
All right.
No, you're
Right.
good. Yeah.
It's like another mouth.
No, that's what it is because you've got that soft
He's
plate bit that looks like
around,
another
dude.
tongue.
Oh, you didn't do that.
Yeah, it's a trip out. So yeah, I cooked that shit. So that was really good of me.
Jesus. That was great. Yeah.
So you have a better understanding of what I damaged. And that's
yeah.
fine. So like,
So you're saying on the triangle at the bottom is where it let
yeah,
loose,
it basically it's like it's like it's the inverse. It's so damaged it tightens up so much that ever getting it to relax back to where it can work fully at 100% is next to impossible because you can't rest your voice 100% forever.
Right.
You need to talk.
You'd have to
live.
stop talking
breathe.
for like a long time.
You'd have to stop breathing because you pull air through that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
my,
like that's why vocal damage is such a serious thing if you do ever cause it to yourself. Like I tell people, if you even have a niggling that something's off, don't fucking treat it like, oh, I've just got a cold, like legit.
Yeah.
Start writing a diary or some shit of what's occurring. Keep track of that change.
Yeah.
And if it's not getting better and it's the same shit, you probably want to go and address that.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to have fucking mega issues. Take it from someone who can't do it anymore and loved fucking doing it.
Oh, that sucks.
I can say though, there is one song that there is available on the internet that I did do at one point. And it's like a 1-minute grind track.
Hell yeah.
Here it did.
So I'm gonna find where is it?
You have access to share your screen. You have to make sure you click the audio part. There's a little checkbox for audio.
All right, how to present? Is that the one?
Present and then just do and then there's an audio. There's like an audio little checkbox.
That trips me out, dude.
Yeah.
I knew that would fuck you up. The fucking
Just wait 1 sec. Sorry, boys.
the vagina of the throat.
No, I mean, yeah, it is funny when you think about that, but it really is just a combination of flesh and air.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was this wheel turner project. Like this is ages ago, but this is like, obviously I was a vocalist quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And this is 15 vocalists, 15 songs.
Oh yeah.
So there was like the Mentor vocalist did one.
Oh fuck yeah. What was this? Kane, right? Kane Cressel.
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah. I miss Kane.
So yeah, Kane's a fucking legend.
I love Kane.
So like, this is
like BO though, but he was a good guy. I used to tell him every day. I'm like, dude, he's all they like it. I was like, all right.
Tell me if this works, because like I'm pretty sure it's sharing audio and shit. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't hear anything right now.
There it is.
Article 54 perpetrated on feel the pain. Join the
And that was the last thing I ever did vocally.
Damn.
Like
was sick.
being
I
in
like
that
that.
range that you're in most of the time that you're in that song, I could say that could definitely blow your voice out if you don't know how to figure out a way to sustain that
And
type
like
of vocals.
it was a hard thing to write in, and like that's after the damage, so I can still do it. It's just whether I want to go out on tour and do it again and again and again and
Yeah.
That's why all these there's a lot of cool teachers now I see that are anything from like old ladies. That one old lady that's like a metal coach and stuff that everyone like swears by. That one dude, David Benitez or something. Benitez, I hung out with him at NAMM a bunch, but like he's now like that's his market is like
the vocal, the vocal dude,
goes
he's got
to
like
big
Through the Air and
singers,
stuff.
like huge singers, and just goes like, and they all like work on stuff, and they're like, oh shit, like they like unlock this new way to make the same noise but not fuck up their vocal cords as much, and like it's really because he'll do. We had Travis Ryan on, and I remember we talked about it on the podcast with him because I just saw they're like he would just do these things where you go like Travis Ryan, he goes like and you go and like he would like somehow like tell you to mix it all together somehow, but like he would tell you kind of like the building blocks and how to do it like correctly where you're not gonna fuck up your voice. And I was
exactly
like,
right.
That's very smart. Like that's a new angle in metal, and he can go sing
that he
whatever.
was ahead of the game, mixing both the highs and the lows together in one shot. Like
that too.
Live, dude. And that is something that just boggles my mind still to this day.
Like splitting the phonetics with his tongue and stuff like that weird.
Where you can like sing while doing those weird. Like nobody else sounds like that.
Well, the cool thing about that story with him, the tongue though, like what you were saying, Colin, in that episode, he talks about how it's like one of my favorite clips of the whole podcast where he's talking about how his parents had a cow and then the cow or the bull or something that like something and it like cornered the mom, like his mom, and like tried to attack her and stuff. And
it was like Brian, the name. It was like some weird name.
Yeah, Brian or something. I think it was.
I don't know if it was Brian.
I think it was Brian. And he's like so gave it like a human name that as a child they gave it a human name, and then all of a sudden they he hears that outside, and then he sees the cow. It's like with his tongue out,
in the back of the truck.
And that stuck with him as a kid. And then all of a sudden he used that later in his vocals, and I'm like, that's a interesting way. I mean, and now you see people doing that, especially the guy we just watched, the Lorna Shore guy. You see him doing all the tongue stuff and all those like tongue techniques.
He wasn't really thinking about that. I want to add my little thing. Cali Death Podcast, me, what up? I was the one who
ego moment.
Yeah, this is an ego moment because how the conversation went was
let go my egos.
I tied it back to that thing because he does that on stage where he puts it out. He puts his tongue out.
No, I've watched enough videos like I'm talking about with the mimicking.
That's what he was just saying. That's what Colin was just saying.
Yeah. So all you have to do.
What I was saying when I brought it up real quick was he didn't realize that it was he didn't make that connection.
Oh, he didn't realize that he was
doing that. But then I was like, "Here's this."
It was actually ego. I'm gonna out ego you. It was me that brought it up.
All right, we don't edit
I have a clip. I've seen it multiple times. Stop trying to Lego my ego, dude.
Oh god!
Oh my god! That was
I know, dude.
Holy shit!
Hey,
but so
we got the scoop on that, so it doesn't matter. But I say we got playback. We can go look at.
My ego. It's still my favorite line back. But Colin, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, did the Schoenberg thing, like I was showing there, like that's kind of like the voice was. If you want to check out Schoenberg, I won't play it right now, but I think someone in the chat actually wrote it for you guys, like the actual spelling.
Oh yeah,
Schoen.
Nate.
Where is it? Yeah, S Where was that one? I saw someone write it properly.
No, it's right here. Guys, have it on the screen.
That's
Greta
Nick just making a joke.
It's-
Right
No,
there.
Greta Schoenberg.
Is that wrong?
No. Yes, we're after
Fucking
Shout
Nate.
out Nate, by the way. Nate from Montage.
Schoenberg.
Anomalous in the chat with us.
I'm trying to how do I put it in the chat for you guys? I know I sound fucking great tech savvy for that, but for some reason,
there's like a private chat if you want to.
oh sweet, I can chuck it in
here.
there, and then you guys can share it out. I'm just finding the actual Bandcamp from back in the day because it is still active.
Schoenberg.
Yeah, so the link I've shared is all of the stuff, but the first thing will be the EP, which is what I was on the group with. And that was like the first time getting into the concept of collaborations that we were talking about earlier, and like my project being a collab thing. This is one of the first times where I was like, yeah, we need to collab. We wanted someone to mix and work on some stuff. We actually didn't have a bass player at the time. And the bass player that joined eventually was my bass player from Cross Lips, Zimmy, who's an absolute legend. Shout out Zimmy. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I was hearing Schoenberg like that.
Where are you? Are you not in this, right?
No. That's Jake with the red beard who replaced me.
Oh, okay. Look at he looks pretty pissed that he did.
Yeah, he's like a what do you call it? He does like those geometric tattoos nowadays.
Oh,
he's
cool.
Like one of those sort of guys, which is badass. So he does that for a living.
Did he tattoo Dan Preslin? He has a bunch of those geometric tattoos. The guy from
I don't know, honestly. The ex Neo Viscaris.
Yeah.
Dude. I just saw them recently in Brisbane when they were playing with Rivers and Isle because I was catching up with Jared, and like we'll get to the Jared stuff, but it blew my mind. I didn't realize who their drummer was nowadays for Neo Viscaris.
Yeah, that's actually when we said Cradle of Filth earlier. That was that Brandon.
Have you seen who Neo's drummer is now?
No, I have no idea.
I didn't even realize Dan had left. Like that's how I'm not clued.
No, Dan told me he had left, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna because he was gonna come on because me and him were going back and forth, and then because he wanted to come on, and then scheduling and stuff because obviously you're tomorrow right now in fucking Australia. You're Friday, we're on Thursday, so it's sometimes it's a lot harder for people, and so we're going back and forth and stuff, and I was like, do you want to put Nee on there? And he's like, no, I'm not. I just quit. And I was like, really? I didn't even I had no idea. But no, he's monster drummer. But the new drummer, how's the new drummer?
Well, that's the funny part is I was watching them like Dan's a fucking freak. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Dan's
freak,
inhuman. Yeah. But when you hear someone even more inhuman, and you're just like, there's not many percentile of people who can be this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the drummer on the latest. I think he was on the album. I could be wrong here. Or Dan was on the album and then it ended. But either way, the guy's playing live for them now, and they just did or are doing a US tour at the moment, and that's who's drumming for them. Is Kevin Paradis, the drummer from Benighted.
Oh, okay.
Which are like 280 BPM French death metal with a bit of core.
Well, they're fast, but Buscarius has but they have a very dynamic sound. So yeah. So he handled that stuff okay.
Oh hell yeah, and I respect him and Dan massively because Nibla Viscaris, anyone who can double kick and blast for 12 minutes,
you
win. You win the game of life in metal.
Yeah. Your twitch muscles, your forearms and your calves and your everything's
exactly
they're locked.
Yeah. But yeah, so we did the Schoenberg thing. The EP that I was on, that was the first time I was going to get to. Glad you're back. We collabed. And the guy who ended up doing I believe it was programmed bass because we didn't have a bass player. He just joined when we were releasing the EP. Program bass, and then the mix and the master, I'm pretty sure was Nolly from Periphery, who used to be Periphery.
Nice. Yeah, he's a great.
Because our guitarist knew him through 7string.org or some shit, like one of those forums for guitarists back in the day.
Yeah, totally.
And that's how that happened basically, and that's how I met Remy. The Algorithm was MySpace era, and talking shit about stuff on chats on there, and finding people's music and stuff like that. So
it was crazy contraption in your hand, dude. Is that weed or is that nicotine?
Yeah, it's a vape. Is it
very weed or nicotine?
Yes, it is.
Are you holding the cone?
He's fucking punching the cone hard right now, dude.
Call me a bilge master.
Dude,
so
I love your guys.
What's the weed situation out there?
Extremely illegal.
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky ones that.
Well, you're in California right now, so right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's okay. And I have a prescription in Australia, so.
Okay.
So I have it legally here. I'm not getting in trouble for showing it.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
exactly concerned. But yeah. Anyway, Schoenberg happened. Those guys kept going. Then I was like, "Fuck, what do I do with my life?" Because I fucked my voice up. So I decided I've always done art stuff. Let's get back into photography and video. That went into like 10 years of tour photography, music videos, promo stuff. So like I've done the playthroughs and promo photography at times for Dis and Tomb. From Australia, because they're from Brizzy. Yeah. Shout out Dis and Tomb.
That's right.
One of the sickest death metal bands ever.
They're great.
And their bass player currently has a new band where he's the guitarist. So shout out to Adrian. If you haven't, I believe it's called Deliquest. I'll find the name. The single just came out and has the vocalist from Pyrexia on it as a guest.
Oh yeah.
The best way I can describe it, and I don't say this often because I'm someone who's like, I'm terrible. I don't like go, your music's the best. It takes a bit for me to like, really gel with things. The second I heard this new song, I was just like, yep, someone's literally doing Effigy of the Forgotten Era Suffocation again.
Oh shit, Jesus.
So I'll find it and link it to you because this shit is legit. And I cannot speak highly enough of these dudes.
In the way that you said it, I was going to type it like Bella Quest, like BELLA, then Quest.
I'm probably saying it fucking wrong, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying the spelling's probably completely different than my brain's actually make. Like,
yeah. It might be one of those like sort of flip outs.
Yeah.
So where is it?
Actually, now that you're looking it up, one of these a band that I'm obsessed with, and I'm into the prog metal stuff. Like huge into the prog. It's a Caligula's Horse. I love Caligula's Horse.
Awesome, good dude, good dude.
Jesus, those guys shred so hard. Those guys.
Well, like that Pliny.
Oh, Pliny. Is he from there?
Yeah, Pliny's Australian.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
That's basically so, like your guys' Tosin. Like that's like
pretty much.
Yeah. He's like has all these custom or these signature Strandberg guitars, and he's a freak. He's really good.
I think I found the track to send to you guys to check out when you want to.
Shout out Ian, just pop.
You can check out when you want to. You can leave your tracks behind. Sorry,
exactly right. Mando. So Mando is the bass player from Deliquest. There he is. He's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
Shout out Mando.
Fuck yeah, Mando.
Shout out, Mando.
He came out, him and Adrian came out to my last Melbourne show when I played down there as Monsters. So shout out to those lads for being fucking awesome.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man.
But you can see the suffocation, like you can hear the Suffo worship in this.
Is this on a label? What's up with this?
It's just like the whole thing is
whatever
Suffo worship when you listen to it. Like you're gonna hear it. Right? If you chuck it on, it's savage.
Is Mando in the band?
Yeah, Mando's their bass player. He's a fucking freak.
So Mando, are we gonna get like a copyright or something for playing this?
Mando, are they okay to play a
song?
Or part of it? They're not gonna like
they got a
you.
contract.
It's not Rammstein. I don't think we're gonna get it like a. It's just gonna be like, hey, you're not gonna make any money off this. It's like,
we don't make any.
Damn,
money
you got us.
I was gonna say you make money on this shit.
Absolutely like not. Actually.
You're not gonna make the 8 cents.
Not recently, we definitely don't. Yeah, man, dude. Shout out to Ian, by the way. He did a sick episode with a sick drum roundtable with Flo.
I know.
Nick Barker.
Hit me up on Instagram, by the way, buddy. He hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and I checked that like once a week. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Well, it was like 4 days later. He's like, "Come on, hang out." And I was like, "Didn't even see it." Like, so
see, look at and he just dropped some other names too, dude. He's doing big things over at Sick Drummer Magazine. Go over and check that. Obviously, he's got a lot of fucking way more followers than us, but. Maybe you guys can trade some followers.
Mando's like, nah, play it.
So, okay.
All right.
I'm going to say this before this. The bass player of the band just said to play it. So sue him.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Fucking rad. So I love those guys.
I like that cover. It's crazy.
Yeah, the artwork's fucking rad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out. Thanks for jumping in, Mando. I love and appreciate it.
Jesus. All right, well, I'm gonna listen to this later.
Sharing
Yeah,
personal
check that
audio
out. Good,
always sucks on our show, dude. I wish it would be.
Oh yeah,
It is one of
Sick.
those things. So, but
That's
yeah,
fucking
so
awesome.
so I started doing a little like video photo work for years, and did that for a long time, and then finally got to the point where I'm like, need to do something myself again. And I'd been over in Europe and hanging at a festival called Euroblast, which again, shout out to Remy and John who runs it. They were nice enough to let me just come over, photograph, be a artist pass person, so with catering and backstage and hanging out, and I could just do whatever the fuck I wanted for the whole festivals.
Right.
Awesome.
And it's a famous, well, I say famous, infamous. It's an awesome festival. It feels almost like family because it doesn't get too big. It's not like a huge. It's like 5,000-6,000 over a couple of days. But you're talking everyone from Meshuggah, Igor, Cynic, stuff like that headline it. So it's great artists. The 2 times I've been, it was Igor. I think it was Igor and Cynic the first time, and then the second time was like Frontiera and Carbomb.
Jesus.
So like basically giving yourself a hemorrhage. Shout out to Frontiera too. They're really good friends of mine. So much love to the Frontiera boys. They're fucking sick. And yeah, so they end their 2 or 3 day festival on the last night with a rave. So everyone can stay.
They end it with a rave.
Yeah, it's Germany, man. Come on.
It's like, all right, let's mellow out and just take Molly and have a rave, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm not kidding. Like, we're talking legit doof, like for like fucking 7 hours.
I'm actually speaking of, we're talking about Cryptopsy earlier. Like, I remember when Casey and I, we got to fucking Germany. We got there and we're like, all right, let's go, because we got there a day early, and then pulled up to the venue in the bus and stuff.
Berlin, dude.
At Berlin, it turned into like a 6-story rave. There was like a different goth club.
K17 or something. Was that the club we were playing?
Something like that. Yeah. But there was, every floor had a different thing going on. But
we went to the show. We went to the show at the place we were going to play at the next night, but we just hung out at the venue, and there was like that was like an industrial, like goth, like industrial show, whatever,
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, we met some girls at the show or whatever, some friends. Then we just like went over. Then like the next night, that was the same night that night, I guess, before. Yeah. Then we went to across this like walkway, and there's people like fire dancing or like eating fire and shit.
Oh yeah.
And then you go up and there's like this whole like multi-story like party going on. Like
that's what I remember.
Each floor was a different theme. There was like a metal theme.
Oh, it's infamous for like these crazy party buildings and shit. It's badass.
Yeah,
it's a weird vibe, but it's a cool vibe. I like it.
Yeah.
It's weird for if you're not used to it, and I wasn't, so it was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like at the corner guy going like, what the fuck is going on?
Like a
and every floor
adventure of nightclubs.
Yeah.
So the guy when we get to Eureka, there's chicks hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, hanging from hooks.
Well, that was a little more methy. Yeah,
it was a little methy. They're messing around.
Before the fire dancing, I would think that I would accept fire dancing and fire eating.
Berlin was great,
but Germans would do that, but they wouldn't be as, they would like exclude meth. They would exclude. They would,
it just wasn't as. I mean, the hooks in Eureka. Like people hanging from the hook, it was very white trashy, like methy.
Very,
like the whole scene, like just the way that it was.
Here's a quick story, Casey. I don't think we've ever even talked about this on the fucking podcast, but there was this girl like wanted to take pictures outside, and then she runs inside with a knife and like stabs someone or something.
What?
And then we had to like leave.
She just
She like brought a knife inside. She like brought a knife inside.
Was it?
No, it was in Eureka. She like brought a knife inside or something, and like
Was
got
that
like
the
maybe
same night?
I don't know if she stabbed anyone, but she like brought a
No.
knife inside and showed it, and then people like started flipping out at the end of the night.
Flipping
and we
out.
had
That
to
was
leave.
at the end of the night. 'Cause we played.
It's like you guys played.
Yeah,
it
after we played, way
Eureka
after we
again
played,
after
like
that?
Oh, okay.
yeah, way after we played. But she was like, "Oh, I'll take pictures of you guys," and then she ran inside and had like pulled a knife on someone or something, and we're just like, "All right." I remember I don't remember my first meth, but I can see what happens when you hit that stuff. Jesus Christ, it turned into a fucking weird situation. We had to
Eureka
leave and
moment,
like
you're like,
squeaker.
"Fuck Eureka."
Yeah, so
Damn straight.
in Australia, I mean, like you know, we have like a meth problem. We see a bunch of like you know, and big cities. Is that there too?
Different sorts of variants of it.
Okay,
like meth is fucked here as well. It's like a pretty
because you can make
big
it
thing.
from any cough medicine.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be grown somewhere. Yeah.
But no, it is a common, like it is obviously just as much an issue. It's not at the, like we don't have the population level to have the epidemic intensity you guys do of it. You know, like it's not like outer central LA or something where I've seen videos of that shit and I'm just like,
yeah.
You're basically camping on meth row, like
yeah.
It's pretty intense. And like, you know, you feel for those people, it's pretty fucked up. Like everyone tries shit and everyone's done stuff and everyone's done things, but it's different people take different dives with those things, and it's pretty horrific, like seeing that shit work out. But yeah, sick drummer meth row. Yeah, you're allowed to call a punk album or a grind album that. I give you permission.
Yeah, Meth Row Records.
Give you permission, Meth Row
Records.
No, it's all meth and fentanyl.
Of the night, Casey got
it's up and the down.
That's
the meth,
right.
meth and the fentanyl, dude. That's like
uppers and downers. It's like
It's here in San Diego. It's in LA. It's in everywhere, man. It's brutal.
It is. Unfortunately, it's much more prominent now too. Post pandemic, I'm not going into that. I'm just saying, like, whatever was bubbling up before that is full fledged now. You know,
I like to use the term. It was political and financial fuckery that probably caused most of that. So it's sadly something you can't avoid in any country.
But also just the fentanyl like getting changed into this. That's a gnarly fucking.
Well, it's the next. It's a different Oxycontin basically, because remember there's a big Oxycontin thing, and then that then it got like it's a soul. How about fentanyl was like 20 times or 100 times stronger? Yeah. People are like, dude, that's the chronic.
My first thing of ever hearing about fentanyl was because my shop where I work is down the street from a pharmacy, and we get a lot of homeless people and shit like that. But there's this one guy, he comes in like a homeless dude, and he's just like, dude, I need scissors. I have a patch that I'm supposed to put on that I just got at the pharmacy, but I don't have any way to open this thing because it's childproof. But he's like weak, you know, like
couldn't open it. Yeah.
So I just give him a pair of scissors and I watch him throw it on just like a nicotine patch, dude. And he throws away the thing, and I look, and it was fentanyl. It was a transdermal,
like a transdermal patch.
Yeah.
Anthony just licked it like a stamp. He's like, all right,
I gotta check this out, dude. What's this all?
So I had to go home for the day.
He's like, you have to lick it right to get it on you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like a stamp.
Terrific, but amazing at the same time.
You're not supposed to lick it, dude. Yeah.
But I was tripped out. Like, what's this fentanyl shit? You know, that was before anybody was talking about it. I was like, fentanyl, what the fuck is that? And then slowly throughout time, it becomes like a buzzword now, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those.
I mean, it was Oxycontin, Oxys. That was a big thing with the whole 2010s.
Yeah,
the Oxycontin Express and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, people were just handing it out.
Flying in and out of state and like doing the.
Well, they were going to one pharmacy, getting something filled, and then taking the same prescription, going to another one, and they were filling that, and they were filling them like getting like 1,000. Like those things, killed millions of people too. So
it's purely because Florida or whatever it was didn't have a regulated computer database.
Oh yeah, no, there's money. It's a money grab.
Yeah, it was a money grab. Yeah.
Well, what it is that like, and I don't know, I've never even done an opiate. Honestly, actually, never really.
I've done both of those.
But like, not judging people who have. I've never.
No judgment on anyone.
But basically, yeah, and I've had friends die like from.
Yeah.
So it's not a joke to me. But yeah, but the thing is like I think a lot of it's like from like people get addicted to it from the pharmaceutical stuff, right? And this is like people know this, it's like common knowledge, but like, you know, like, and then Oxycontin was one of those things people would just, it's so great that they're just like, I want this forever, and then they stop being able to get it and they can't refill it and stuff, and so they're like, then they turn to street shit, because they can't. Yeah, and then once they're doing that, then it just gets, and then they don't know if it's laced with whatever, and then that fentanyl stuff is just all of a sudden you die. You're just like, okay, cool.
Fentanyl's like taking dabs of Oxycontin. Yeah. It's like, you want to take a dab of it? Like,
but
no, thank you.
Not because that's not going to kill you.
It's like, you know how high you got off that stuff? Do you want to take a dab of this? Like,
it's just crazy to see the footage of the guys who are, you know, who got the voiceover and they're behind the mask and they're the dealers on the street and literally using fentanyl as a way to boost their business, because if they cut a certain amount into it, if somebody dies, then everybody else around that area will be like,
they'll be like, oh, it's good shit.
I know, it's so fucked up. Well, there's like the stories of like even like Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley and like on tour, like Nirvana and Alice in Chains, and they're like doing like those two dudes or something there. So I can't remember like exactly the story, but like they were like competing to do like who could do the most, and like they were all about getting like to the verge of death, almost like that high where you're like almost dead, and then you're just like, that's the shit right there.
Well, I mean, I think that tension and release is something that we need to come back on, dude, and that's like the biggest release that everybody's looking for.
Well, I got addicted to it to Norcos, and man, it's for like 6 months, and that shit. That's, I mean, even I watched a Tommy Lee interview with Tom Segura was interviewing him. He's like, "What was your favorite drug?" He's all, "Heroin." Are you kidding me? I was the sick of, you know. It's like,
I have to pick one.
Yeah, he's like, cocaine's a joke. Like heroin. Like, what were you even talking about?
That's the drug.
Yeah, because that was, I mean, but the thing is, it's most debilitating. I mean, it just feels like your whole body's just like, you know. And I only took I've never tried heroin, but I've tried the legal version of Norcos and stuff. Like, I was hurt for a while and got a bunch, and it was scary. Once I was done with it, I was like,
feel that pull really quick.
Oh, dude. Man, I started crying. I was like, and then when I started crying, I was like, all right, this shit's got way too much of a handle on me. I'm done. And I just stopped. Then I stopped that day because I was like, I want it so bad right now. I want it so bad. And because my body was all, I was taking like 10 Norcos a day. Like I was taking like a ton, and you're supposed to take like 2. I was taking like 10, and like and just drinking and doing a bunch of stupid. This is like 2009, 10, something like that.
Norcos are an opiate.
It's the same thing as Oxycontin and fentanyl, but a way mellower version of it. But it's like it's like Yellow Belly. Those getting rated shit. I didn't do any drugs. I've never done drugs. Like luckily,
I am the greatest human alive.
I drank a couple Budweisers one time. Who rated? Sorry, fuck. I don't have a Twitch open. So who rated? Can you guys tell me? So I could. Mega Mike. It's Mega Mike. We're getting Mega Mike stuff. Scott Carstairs.
Mega Mike.
We're getting way too many people right now. So I've never done drugs. And that was like the most intimate story I was going into.
Take it out of the weeds for the
thank you, Scott. Love you.
We're talking to monsters around us, aka Colin Cadell. Sorry,
correct. Say it however you want. It doesn't bother me.
Let's talk about. Okay, so you had your introduction to the Aphex Twin, the square pusher, and all that stuff. So, again, this is a 2-part question because you started your venture into metal solo. Technically, you had heard that at the party. You heard Pantera at the party, and then sent you down. So, what was the one group that made you start really, or not even group, just artists that made you start digging into the electronic music side of it? And
Amon Tobin.
Then Amon Tobin, dude. Yes.
The
All right, go into that. Go
I
into
back
that.
that 100%.
How did you get into
totally
that?
makes sense. It totally makes sense, and that is a project that I think anybody who I would want to push in, or not push into, but give a recommendation into electronic music. Amon Tobin is somebody who has it all. There's so many different doorways into it with that guy.
My recommendation is for anyone who's never heard, and it's Amon, like Egyptian, Amon, Amon.
I think
Tobin.
I said it right. Did I just say
it
right?
Yeah, no, you said it correct. Yeah. I'm just making sure if everyone
Amon. I probably did a little more emphasis on the A.
No, that's all right. But Amon Tobin's like, much like Aphex Twin, elements of minimalism and like soundscapes and soundtracks and stuff, but also, you know, pulling heavily from glitch and electronica and drum and bass and EDM and stuff. The best starting point is, in, you know, if you're old enough to remember this, you guys remember the Splinter Cell games?
Yes.
Like video games. So Amon Tobin actually wrote the entire soundtrack to Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Whoa.
Okay.
So if you look up the soundtrack to that, it's actually an Amon Tobin album. It's not a soundtrack. It's an Amon Tobin album. And it is like James Bond, the drum and bass version. Like all of those weird slides and piano cues, but with dark, moody, gritty drum and bass. The other big one for me was definitely Ulver, Perdition City.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, my God, dude. Okay, I just want to tell you, dude, that these are the actual feelings that I was feeling from listening to what I sampled from your catalog.
Thank you.
Was Perdition City, Aphex Twin, you know, the glitch aspects of those projects, and Amon Tobin. I'm glad that like I clicked with it in the right vibe, you know?
Well, that's it. And it's a vibe. I will admit, I'm putting myself into a niche of a niche doing this project. Which is, you know, a hard thing to say because underground metal's already a niche, underground electronic music's a niche, and then you combine the two together and you're like, fuck, I'm getting the 5% of the 5%.
So let me slice off the 5% of the 5% of you right now with Ulver. Now I want to know when you dove in on that group and what was your first introduction? Was it Perdition City?
It was Perdition City. That's my personal favorite era. I've listened to all eras. I love the older, you know, Nats Madrigal sort of stuff.
Yeah.
All the way through to now where they're more of like a conceptual filmic 70s prog band.
Right.
Where they've sort of evolved to.
And I shout out to Ricky. He's may not be in the chat right now, but Ricky from Dreamer, we've both agreed that I think Shadows of the Sun is the quintessential Ulver. And I'm going to say that right now for all you Ulver fans that are down with the whole thing. I think that's where they just bring it to such high levels of emotion and
there's elements of everything.
I have such a connection with that album. But like you said, Perdition City is actually my first introduction to, even though I was Mr. Black Metal Norway, like watching all the documentaries and knowing all the shit. Like Ulver really was something that came later, and it came through what happened after their black metal phase. And then I went back into it and realized, oh wait, these guys are making a fucking deep footprint in that second wave Norway. I know it's the second wave completely, but there was also the first wave Norway, second wave Norway. What was coming out of there? Dimmu, we were just talking about. They're still in there. Dod Himsgard. I can't.
Dod Himsgard. Dod Himsgard, or however you want to say it.
I'll never say it correctly. and Over were another 3 solid groups that came out of that first wave, second wave Norway shit. Where I'm like, yeah. And then it kind of makes sense that they were all trying to be so unique that once it became a fad, they just said, fuck it, we're not doing black metal anymore. We're gonna go do this electronic, more proggy folk and all the other things that aren't metal.
Well, there's like, there's every chance that my project in 10 years, if it's still going, it might be something completely different. And that's part of the reason why I loved starting as a purely electronic thing. Because it gives me that grounding of like, whatever I evolve with, I'll always have the electronics, but it can evolve however it wants to, as far as like me as a person, how I'm feeling when I'm composing.
And that's exactly how it should be.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely a cool ass thing. Like those albums are just revolutionary. Trying to think of like, I'm a big soundtrack person too, like movies, obviously like, your John Carpenters and stuff like that. But I also have like a real soft spot for like Harry Manfredini, who did the Friday the 13th soundtracks.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That shit's great.
I'm a soundtrack fan, so like See on the Wall there.
Yeah.
Soundtracks. There's more hidden.
I love them too.
Like, that's my thing. Yeah. So, and it has to be like shit horror movies and stuff and sci-fi movies and whatnot. And, like classics, like I like finding like, I really enjoy Wendy Carlos stuff.
Dude. Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah,
Tron,
actually,
Casey
showed me
Orange and shit, and all the switched on Bach and all that.
Yeah, Casey showed me all that shit.
Yeah, like the Andromeda Strain and Tron and stuff are just legendary.
Oh
so
yeah,
you
dude.
Can't hate that shit. It's very, I feel like that stuff's so. It didn't also just lay down groundwork. It almost established what that type of electronic music became for the rest of time. When you look at like Andromeda Strain, I think was one of the first recorded instances of a synthesizer on like an album, like the way it was used. And you listen to that and it's like almost listening to like something you'd hear abstract electronically between songs on a metal album. It's really weird. It's all like bleak. It's very blippy.
Super cool thing to listen to, because Kerry Gear got me into listening to like what's that guy's Thomas like Bergeronson or something. Yeah, and like Hans Zimmer and all those. But like I have a list. I'm trying to find, but he has a Spotify list of all these things, and I throw that on during work, and I was like, man, I have so many metal ideas are just lying in this. So many musical ideas are just here. Like just
if you want to get metal ideas from a soundtrack, just listen to anything by Tom Hulkenberg.
Okay, what movies?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh yeah, totally.
I think he did all the Zack Snydery Justice League films and stuff and all that sort of shit.
Definitely.
In the fixed up versions, not getting nerdy, but not in the cinematic stuff. It's one of those things where he did the original, then got pulled, and then got replaced and came back. But he's well renowned for that stuff. He was actually like an electronic artist as well.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head, but I'm having a conniption with this. It was Tom Hulkenberg. This is going to annoy me because I should.
I'm the same way. I can't just like be like, all right, dude. Let's just move along without me not knowing the name. What's his name?
Junkie XL was his.
Okay.
Electronic name. So he was a DJ as well. So he was a huge club DJ for quite a while, and then he became a film scorer, and that's what he does nowadays. So if you want to check out some good modern scores, he's done. What is it? 3,000 Years of Longing. A whole bunch of other shit. Battle Angel Alita.
Oh yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. There you go. Deadpool, Terminator, Dark Fate. Like, yeah, he's fucking massive.
Yeah. Okay, Jesus.
Godzilla vs Kong. Like, we're getting one of the amazing Spider-Man things or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dude's extremely well known.
Well, just to go back to the Wendy Carlos stuff for a second, like I think sure. With like, of course, the Stanley Kubrick, like, like 2001, of course, but like, of course, Clockwork Orange is really, that's for like that, but like that kind of stuff, like even like before it was kind of like in the 70s, like it was like a lot of like, like movies had always had like classical music or like symphonic soundtracks and all that kind of stuff. And they still like largely do to this day, you know, but like all the like soundscapes and electronic stuff that came in also kind of coincided with the technology of like analog synthesizers being like a thing, and the like the Moog or Moog or whatever synthesizers and all that kind of stuff. And of course, like Wendy Carlos kind of like pioneered a lot of that, like, or at least made it like really awesome, like with all the box stuff and everything. And I think like I mean, just like mostly thinking of like Clockwork Orange, like it's a movie that's like even like themed about like Beethoven, like Ninth Symphony, like classical stuff and all that. But then like also there's like so much crazy soundscape, like electronic analog Moog stuff that was like in there. And like if you listen to that soundtrack, you know, there's all these crazy songs that are like, there's that one, I forgot what it's called, but it has like a time clock at the beginning, and it's like the entire thing's like a crazy psychedelic like experience.
There we go.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just genius.
I think that's just as important as everything else in music. I mean, movies is the music.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was going to get to that. Yeah, the vibes can change.
I love it. And the last thing I wanted to say just real quick is that I think that like that change of like, okay, classical music like in movies or whatever is like common. So like taking that and then like expanding off like with the technology of this of like the synthesizers being around, and then like turning that into weird sound. Of course they had like Foley and, you know, like sound effects before that, but like doing that musically, like where they could do that before with like, you know, real instruments, and that's cool too. But like but basically like doing it electronically came with the technology it had to at some point. Even with tapes and stuff before, but like especially with the analog synth movement. And so that's just I think that's kind of cool that like they took like the classical shit and then like fucked with that and molded it into this like weird electronic fucked
very
up
much so
version of classical, and then it just went crazy from there, you know. I don't know, just
no that's perfect. It's on point. Like it's an abstraction of audio, basically, is a good way to think of it. Like it's taking what you knew audio it is, decomposing it, and then reassembling it in a configuration that still has the time measures but could be extended out across a time period and stuff, you know. Like that's some of the first examples are probably like time sliding in audio, you know, where you're like almost dumping a clip in and you're stretching it rather than using it as it was intended and recorded. Like a lot of that was the start of that stuff, and that's how samples were coming in and doing things like that. It's pretty fucking crazy, really. Like we've come from a wall-size synthesizer to like, you know, I can pick shit up for like a couple $100 bucks, if even.
Moog just got sold. They just got sold. I know Trevor's buying like all the last Moog stuff because they got sold to, like,
before they get owned by someone else.
It's like Fender. It's like Fender,
Gibson or something.
It's like Gibson or Fender, or something like that. They just got bought. They got like, yeah. They finally got their. I know you got to get the original, not sold out stuff. Which I mean, it does make a difference. You know, you think of you know, like Music Man basses. Those were Music Mans. Now they've been Fender since the 80s or something. And they have. My dad has like a 73 Music Man, and that thing's like amazing. And then like the new ones, they just get mass produced. You know, they want to make I get it, you know, it's like they look sick. A lot of people want the product because it looks cool rather than they're not like really
that
worried about
funneled down all the way to a taqueria that changes ownership.
That's funneled way down.
No,
but it's true though.
Like, are different. The burritos are different after. You know,
no.
Like, I remember it being really this way. It was consistent, and then now it changed over.
Well, it's because all the ingredients are coming from the same place as the other chains they already owned are coming from. So it's all like Costco now. It's not like they weren't coming from like the original source. Yeah. No, I know that happens a lot. You know, there's changing hands of management or something like that. And
but I think that like, you know, like Moog is if that's how you say it. I don't even know if that's really Moog.
It's Moog. I mean, that's how this.
If that was to be purchased by Fender, I would hope that they would stick to the same like ethic that company had.
You would hope so.
Before that,
you can hope.
I mean, hoping is sick. I hope.
Yeah.
Doesn't really ever happen. It's like we're gonna use cheaper wood. We're gonna use cheaper circuits. We're gonna use cheaper. It's like
we're gonna
use sell them
cheaper. What are they? MIDI samples, dude. Just
they're gonna everything's gonna be cheaper. I mean, obviously they want to make more money, so I get it. They're gonna hike the price up. It's gonna be more expensive. cheaper. Yeah.
They're just looking at like they're a machine. They want to make money in the business. And
everything's a corporation, dude.
Yeah, they're not acquiring it for the love of Moog. They're acquiring it for a bottom line. That's why shit gets weird.
There's different business models.
The name, dude.
There are companies that like charge a bunch for these super high, like the PRS or something, where they like actually like really set up the guitars nicely and everything's like you got to pay for that shit, but it's like just there's different like company models, like just like any like a restaurant, like you can sell more shit and charge less and create more of this mass produced thing. One business model. The other one is create higher quality shit and charge more, and it's going to be less out. It's all just different models. It's just like numbers and projections.
How do we take this company that may not be making as much money as when they started to continue the name? Like they're buying the name.
And then people like die off who like owned it originally, and then their kids own it or whatever.
Is it like, oh, money?
They're like, I don't care. Like, exactly.
So take it. Take it.
Yeah.
Just like 48 million? Take it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Cash out and just live your life.
Isn't Gibson like, are they still like going, or what's going on with Gibson?
I mean, I know they gone bankrupt a bunch. I worked at Guitar Center in 2011. I remember like even Guitar Center was like going bankrupt when I was working there. But it's just constant, like it sucks. It's really hard to like keep anything musical alive in a physical retail realm. It sounds, because you have to be there's so many people with so many different tastes, and when you go in there, it's like, oh, it's like all Fender, Gibson. It's like just the hits. Like we're selling the hits here. There's not, and then there might be some like used stuff that's cool. Like that's where you can kind of find gems there. But man, that's a tough business, especially with Sweetwater and American Musical Supply out there. It's like you can just go like, I could try it for free. And just click on a credit card that you're gonna give me, and I pay $0. All right, let me just try that out. Yeah. It's so hard for them, and the fact that they're still even surviving at a higher rate than I would say record stores are surviving is a complete. I don't even know.
I know. How do they
I have no idea.
I see like in instrument stores. I'm like, how are you doing it? Like,
I know. There's like the local music stores. Like we have one in Aptos, Jensen's Music, and it's been there for like 30 years. And I'm like, there's never anyone in there. And I'm like, how are you guys like? Are you guys just lessons or like $1,000 like a second? Like how are you guys like keeping the rent? Like, which is like the highest rent in California.
Depending on how far it goes back, they could have been lucky enough that they actually own the premises rather than
that's true.
In which case, you've got no overheads except for running expenses, and I guess if you can at least balance that margin, like
that's true.
That's thing. Yeah. But I mean, that's a rare thing. Like shit,
grandfather
did
anymore.
Dude, so I probably brought it up on a previous episode, but going to Streetlight in Santa Cruz was a big it was a big like reality check for me, because I went there with like nostalgic high hopes of being able to rekindle whatever I did when I'd go down to Santa Cruz to hang out with you guys. Before I would go hang out with you guys, I would hit up Streetlight and see what the vast metal and black metal grindcore experimental avant-garde section would be, and then hit up the rock and hip hop after that too. But I would be able to spend 2 hours in a record store easily and have a blast doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do that again, and it was a huge disappointment in my wanting what I wanted from this situation, but still dove in. I went through the whole store, and what was sad was that this gigantic section that we used to have when we were young, it was whittled down to literally 3-4 aisles.
It's like
lanes.
It's not even aisles. It's like this big.
Little like sections, but they saved all the like
the old placards,
cool fucking logos that the guys and gals that don't even work there anymore put that together. You know, they on their breaks when people weren't in there doing little logos and making the deicide logo sick with a permanent marker, you know.
Yeah.
And all that was still there, and I think that that's where the love is. Like they're actually showing like this is what it used to be. Here's some like here's a little bit of evidence of what this place used to be.
Unfortunately, yeah, right. The writing's on the wall. It's gonna be gone pretty soon for sure.
Yeah. So, dude, I went.
There was, I know it sucks.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like 2-3 times, I wanted to cry while I was in there because I was trying to experience something. And you want to know what that kept me from crying was whoever was on the mix that day put on a live King Crimson album.
Oh fuck yeah.
And that was playing the whole time while I was in there. And I was like, okay, here's something that I can tether to that I know would have been playing while I was flipping through these records or albums, CDs. And so there's something that I could still, I have the environment, I have the soundtrack, but I'm flipping through emptiness. It was kind of
it's a bit profound.
A deep fucking thing that I was having. And I was in there with nobody. I was in there with employees, dude. There was nobody else. Flipping through the DVDs, looked around, nobody in the movie section. Nobody in the record section. I'm in the CD section by myself, flipping through everything that I could possibly, and I didn't buy anything, dude. I didn't leave with one thing.
So you're part of the problem?
Yep.
And that's why they're going out of business.
I didn't contribute at all.
Yeah, that's tough. It's kind of like I mean, with a lot of industries you've seen, like, you know, like there's been all the video rental stores, like those. There was one left in Santa Cruz forever, and all the locals were going there and they're renting shit for East Side Video. Joseph, you know, East Side Video was like still going, just trying to fucking keep it afloat. And all the locals would go there.
East Cliff Video.
It was the one over by Dollar Tree in Santa Cruz, by Carrie's house.
Yeah,
I miss the mom and pop video shops. Like being able to, you know, like stand out the front. They would have like a fucking arcade cabinet or something. You'd have like Samurai Showdown or Puzzle Bobble or some Metal Slug or some shit. Yeah, and you'd wander in and they all knew you and they didn't give a fuck if it was R-rated. They're like, yeah, your mum and dad's fine with it. It's all sweet. Thanks.
You know what's crazy about this, though, is that there is, like, you know, obviously we've seen so many times, there's been so many throwbacks and so many, like, nostalgic things coming back from the 80s. Like, people are selling cassette tapes again. People are doing, like, things like that again. So if I could see a comeback of, like, I mean, there is, like, a Blockbuster left in Alaska. And I know they're like, there's another one that just opened, like somewhere else, but it's kind of like a nostalgic, kind of hipster kind of thing. But at the same time, it's I would love if a Blockbuster opened in Santa Cruz, I would be there all the fucking time. I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna find it here again.
It's like all the new movies that come out. So you go and you get like the little case and the whole like VHS thing, and you like rent them out, but there's nothing in there. It's just like a token, like a code, so you can go home and like stream it.
Yeah,
I just want to go out and like pick it out, you know.
You want to be able to like look at cases and shit and look at covers and be like, oh, this is sick. Like I miss that feeling of picking something up and literally not having the internet to really refer to and go like, imagine good. You just go, oh, that's sick. Let's check it out.
But imagine though, on the Casey's point, like imagine if like, because remember when you were younger and stuff, I'd go to like, you know, Hollywood Video with my dad, you know, like on a Friday night. And like, there's a movie I needed to see, and like we'd go there and it would just be out, and they're like, "No, you can't watch it." And like, imagine like nowadays,
there's none out. I was just thinking,
someone said that to someone like, now. You can't watch it, dude. Yeah. They're like, dude, we can't give you another stream, dude.
It can't be watched. Yeah,
our quota is max, motherfucker. You wait.
Yeah,
we got a 2-hour window coming up soon. You wait.
God, that feeling was shitty, dude. When you're like wanting that one movie, and then
the second place movie.
How sick was this though?
Yeah.
How sick was all of them are out except for one copy, and you got the last.
You got the
copy.
last
Yeah,
one.
you find it hidden on
yeah,
like a bottom
dude.
shelf or some shit, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
yes.
Or asking staff,
That-
just being like, dude, is there one that got returned? Like, is there? And they're like, oh, like, yeah, that would be the move too.
Yeah,
I did that
exactly.
too.
They look in the
Yes.
box. They're like, oh, this one.
They're like, oh, okay. They scan it. They're like, all right, he returned it on
You guys,
time.
you guys
Boom.
remember like renting
sick.
like a Nintendo system or whatever?
Oh, I've
Came in
done
like
that
a
a couple
briefcase
times.
and shit.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. It was
like,
like
oh,
50
shit.
bucks.
like it's
Dude,
this
one of my
weekend's gonna be
birthdays, my
gnarly.
parents were like, "We're gonna rent a Dreamcast for you," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck yeah!"
I rented a
And I was like in a
Super
briefcase thing.
Nintendo. That's how old I am. I rented a Super Nintendo because I had a Genesis, and I was like, I want to try the Super Nintendo because I heard that Mortal Kombat's got blood on that. So that's what I want. Or
You're
no,
like, give it
other way
to me.
around. The
Other way
Street
around.
Fighter.
The
Sega had
Fighter.
it.
Yeah, I was the opposite.
Fighter.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
MK was the flip and Street Fighter was the other way around for the gore.
That's
It
right,
was a
that's
bit
right, that's
confusing.
right.
But yeah, the Super Nintendo Street Fighters were way better than the Mega Drive.
Oh,
What was
yeah,
the Michael
exactly. That's what
Jackson
it was.
game? What was the Michael Jackson game?
Moonwalker.
Moonraker.
Was it
Moonwalker.
Moonraker?
No, Moonraker is the James Bond film with
Moonraker.
Roger Moore.
Moonwalker.
Moonwalker is, I believe, is
Michael
the-
Jackson and Moonraker. as
Where you do
Bond.
that smooth
You
criminal.
change one
is,
letter,
like,
it's
the first level.
I expect you to
Smooth
die,
criminal.
Bond.
What does he do? He like does his little movie, like,
Yes,
guys.
You throw your hat. You throw your hat
Yeah,
like
you look-
super gnarly.
Guys
It's
get
the
knocked
only
over.
thing I can imagine
Dude, that
happening.
was that was the game that my parents rented the Genesis.
Oh wait,
with. It's
yeah,
fucking
Michael Jackson is
game,
Odd
dude.
Job.
That was my first taste of Genesis was the Michael Jackson game.
It wasn't
had-
a bad
Damn.
game though. It's a
And
trip
then I
out to play.
then I played Sonic and I was like, this is the shit, dude.
Yeah, I need rings, dog. Like, I'm
I
trying to get
remember, I
rings.
remember like playing Sonic on the Dreamcast at the game store and being like, "What the fuck? This shit is like metal. Like it
Yeah.
was super hardcore,
Dude, so
super
dude.
fast. And the music was cool, and it was like,
which-
damn."
By
I'm
the
old
way,
enough to,
conspiracy undo shit. I think that Michael Jackson was involved in
Uh,
Sonic the
it's
Hedgehog
true.
3
It's true. Like,
soundtrack.
The
yeah,
soundtrack, wasn't he?
yeah,
if you
he
listen to the
was.
soundtrack of Sonic
Of
the Hedgehog
Sonic?
3,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
he helped
it's
compose
like
stuff.
based on some Michael Jackson shit, but
Like
put into
unreleased.
8-bit.
Yeah.
mhm.
When you got like 15 rings in a row, it's like,
The music was like a
Hedgehog.
Nintendo version
One
of
was a
like
hedgehog.
some random could be Michael Jackson song like from the 80s kind of thing.
Well, it almost feels like, and like this is like deep cuts for music nerds. The difference between like Super Nintendo was like more your grungy American kind of vibes with the soundtracks,
Mhm.
and then like but then all the Japanese stuff was like we got to do like Yoko Kono jazz, but it has to be 8-bit. Because you listen to like Sonic and there's so many interweaving melodies and like shit changing, but the beats are
Shit
there and
gets
you're just
great.
like,
Well,
it's pretty full on.
they
Yeah,
never
that-
want you to fall asleep while playing Sonic.
It's that
Yeah.
blast processing, man.
oh, dude, when I used to go, they had my dentist had a, because any game console was a big deal back then. It was,
Oh shit,
if
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if someone had it in the dentist office had like one of those ones where they had the like glass case with the screen and the two
Wild.
controllers popping out. And I remember when my dad's like, "We're going to the dentist." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, we're going to the dentist." And I'd just be like playing Sonic and shit. And they're like, "All right, like fucking let me carve into a tooth."
Dig into that future real quick.
I'm like,
But,
"Oh,
dude-
bummer. Oh, you got me."
Ah,
But like,
dude, that's so crazy that you're saying that.
I know. Or what was the
Vivid
dolphin one? The
memories.
dolphin game.
Oh, Echo the
game.
Dolphin.
Echo the dolphin. I'd do that
Nobody
too.
fucking can play Echo, dude. Don't,
I
anybody
loved
who
Echo, dude.
comes-
Fuck you. What are you younger
chime
than
in
me?
in the chat
By a
right
year.
now and tell me that you know how to fucking play Echo. You don't know how to fucking play Echo, dude. Nobody knows how to play Echo.
Easy ass game, dude.
Fuck that shit.
An
Nobody knows how to-
extraterrestrial dolphin isn't really what I expected for like a Sega highlight.
I know, I
Fuck
think-
yeah, this is 90s
I think-
shit.
I think Anthony's more of a Star Fox guy than
Nah, fuck Star Fox 2, dude. I'm down with Sonic. I'm down with Super Mario Brothers. I'm down with old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, yeah,
Contra's
That was a
sick.
good arcade. That was a good one.
yeah,
I'm one
yeah,
of those
that's one
suckers
for
for like
arcades.
the old LucasArts point and click adventure era, so like Full Throttle.
Oh, Full
You've ever
Throttle is
played
one of my
Full
favorite
Throttle?
games of all time. It's one of my,
It's literally
one of
my favorite
games of all time. It's
Yeah,
literally
my favorite game. Full stop.
Oh my god!
High
Throttle.
five.
I know,
It's
We
so
found
trippy
someone-
that you brought that up. Oh,
I've
the
never
biker
played that.
dudes in the
Yeah.
fucking. Oh my god, that's one
Bullcats
of my
and-
favorite game. Oh my god,
Mark Hamill is Rip Burger.
is he really?
Yeah. The villain dude is Mark Hamill from memory.
Dude, that was the sickest game, and I actually got it recently somehow, and like played I played it all the way through and beat it again.
Yeah, they've got like the remaster that came out a few years back. Yeah.
Dude, me and Carrie, we were all on it, just trying to get through it. It was
Sorry to get into
so
video games.
good.
for a
So
minute.
what's everyone's favorite video game? We got Joel and Colin. So mine is Super Metroid.
Nice.
Okay.
Of all time, what's
yeah.
your if you had to pick one video game, Anthony and Joseph?
For
I'll
the
go-
rest of my
I'm gonna go
life,
Full Throttle.
I would do
Super Mario.
Ocarina of Time.
Oh,
That's
Zelda.
solid.
whoa.
Yeah, that
What-
game is like just.
No, I
pure
got
art.
mine's
Breath of the
flashback
Wild, nah.
flashback on Genesis. Flashback. It's called
Flashback.
Dude, can
Yeah.
you stop going deep cuts of my memory?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
what you next you're gonna be like, oh yeah, and then my other favorite game was like before that there was another one like that called Another World, and that shit was sick.
I played that too.
Yeah, because
out
Another
Little
World's
Reef.
literally one of my favorite
I'm-
games in
I'm-
history. Eric
Seriously.
Chahi.
I didn't have a Sega, so I'm like don't know what you guys are talking about.
Donkey Kong Country, dude. I fucking
Donkey Kong?
100%
Oh,
Yeah, I-
respect.
Yeah,
Bananas.
now I need, if I'm on a
Yeah, I got
desert
respect.
island, I gotta be able to pick one from each console. Cause dude,
Yeah.
Oh, dude. No,
I gotta-
one. You get one. You get one, not from each console. We want to
One
make it all
forever?
easy, soft
one
for you.
forever.
Pick one.
Okay, so then it's Super Mario Brothers, dude. It's the
You know, actually, you know
classic.
what's funny? Did you hear about that thing where it's like where he goes, "It's a me, a Mario."
Yeah.
It's a me is Japanese.
I remember that.
For-
Super.
Really?
I mean, Super, right?
It's Super
I mean, Super,
Mario.
So he's
So
just
you're
saying
Super Mario.
Super
Me,
Mario.
Mario, Super Mario, yeah.
And you thought my whole life I was like, "Oh, it's Italian." It's like, no,
Oh,
it's
oh,
Japanese.
really?
But then again,
Yeah.
so you hear that,
That's good
and
to
then it
know.
could be bullshit. So somebody who knows
I
Japanese,
saw
Yeah.
a few things on it. I actually looked it up because it was a
Dude.
Japanese-made game, and they're like, "It's a me," means like,
Yeah.
what was it?
It's a me Mario.
Super. So it's Super
Super.
Mario.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
But why is
it's
there
actually
spaghetti in
it's
Well,
really-
actually, no. That spaghetti isn't in the game. That game was
Spaghetti.
fucking,
No,
He's
the whole thing
Italian.
is-
He's Italian, so he's taking a big hit to this. But
But I don't
No,
actually
it's starting
know.
to- It's starting to hit me in my loins. real
I don't
quick.
know if he was
Right near the
actually
lasagna.
Italian though in the original Mario games. I believe they were just plumbers who were brothers.
No, it's canon from the movie that they're from Brooklyn, right? I thought that was canon.
Yeah,
Fucking-
so that's when.
Oh my
that's when it
God.
happened. Like
That's-
the movie and the TV show happened, and now all of a sudden they became Italians. But that couldn't have been the original.
He's Italian
thing.
American. He's a like Brooklyn guy.
All right,
Yeah.
The
Really?
Super Mario
Wait,
movie. If you
yeah.
ever, if you
That's
ever
what's
watched
giving
that,
us some.
That's I think that's a cool like what better for him, you know? And
Yeah.
the fact that it was made by Japan and we're all like fucking sleeper agents for Nintendo now. Like anyone brings it up and we're just like, holy shit, like they could totally we're brainwashed.
Did I rode by the Nintendo factory when I was on the bullet train from Kyoto? Or it's in Kyoto, I guess. And I was
Whoa.
like, "Oh, there it is!" And it was like the Nintendo building, like it's like the original. one,
What?
I guess. I guess that's what I
You
was
would
told.
buy that and then
Yeah,
that
on
little
on the
all
bullet
started,
train, it
dude?
goes right by it. Yeah,
is it like
Dude.
the Hershey factory? They give you like little samples of like cartridge to eat.
Yeah, it's
I,
like
I
a
didn't
Jelly
get to go.
Belly or
Yeah.
Well, you guys,
like
you guys know where
eating
Nintendo's.
mushrooms and fucking.
You guys know the history of Nintendo partially, don't you? Like at all?
No, to give us a brief rundown because I know you have
So-
some.
So,
All I
hey,
know is-
tell me if this is wrong. We're getting back to cowboy and western era here.
I'll look it
That's
up.
what we're talking about.
All right.
So what was the end of like the cowboy era? Like late 18 somethings to the early
1890s.
19 somethings? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like turn of the
Yeah, yeah.
century, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So Nintendo were not just founded as a video game company. They've
Really?
always been involved. Yeah, so they've always been involved in products in general. And so we're going a bit crazy deep divey here.
Okay.
Nintendo was founded in 23rd of September 1889.
What?
Jesus.
Nintendo are well renowned for
In Kyoto.
Hanafuda playing
Kyoto.
cards, which are Japanese produced gambling cards.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
They used to make Pokédex for casinos.
Really?
Yep, they're a company that
Holy
made their money off gambling and then sold that shit to children
Wow.
as a console.
Damn.
That's legit, their history. I'm not joking you.
I mean, I'm
So
looking
it's
at it
all
right now
part of
too.
gambling. It's all part of the
Fast-
concept of
fast
how
forward,
you make
like-
money.
I love
Playing
gambling.
cards. So what was their next out of the playing cards?
Let's have a look. Nintendo was founded in 1889 by Nintendo
Kopai.
Kopai by craftsman Fuji's.
There's
Sujiro
a Disney tie-in
Yamauchi.
at 1949. There's a Disney got involved, right?
I think there's a lot. So like they literally started out
my fucking shit apart right now.
Nintendo Karuta.
So they were still playing cards up through till 1968. They made classic and electronic toys from 1960 to the 70s. They made some of the first like home TV games.
1900s, so they went all the way to 68.
1889. Yeah. And it went from 1889 all the way up to the late 60s just selling card decks.
Just doing cards. Okay.
Yeah.
82 to 88 was the Nintendo actually started.
Yeah. So like their original name is the Nintendo Playing Card Co.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's their actual original title. So it's all founded by a company that did that.
There's a documentary on Netflix about it. And later they like start with an episode where it's a guy who works at the Nintendo in America where people are just calling in and their entire team is like Nintendo help, where you just like tell people on the phone how to like play the game they're working on. And I guess that was just like an entire industry of like young kids employed to do that. And I was just like, that's the coolest job ever that's ever existed. Just like help people with video games all day while you learn how to do it. So
yeah, and if you want to hear something hilarious, during that beginning era when they were making cards like for gambling and stuff, they also made cards specifically for advertising cigarettes.
Damn, good.
Yeah.
So there's your history lesson. I'm someone who's obsessed with like memorizing weird history trivia and shit. So we popped up something in combo all on a tangent. So there you go. They're actually
a gambling card. What
then they made the
professor
thing
was talking about. I was going to say that I knew a bunch of people who were game testers for PlayStation.
True shit.
As like a legit gig.
Yeah, my neighbor ended up
better
working
than working
for
at
PlayStation.
McDonald's. They were probably making the same money, but they were just playing video games for their.
My friend was a baseball player. Baseball player who got hired to work on their baseball games, like just because he was kind of techie. So that was cool.
I was gonna say a guy that puts the green balls on and does.
Oh yeah, right. Tony Hawk for TPS or whatever. Yeah. He writes about that, how like each ball he's like falling on a skateboard and they're wincing, and he finds out each one's worth like $10,000. He's like breaking a bunch of them.
Jesus. Tony Hawk. Speaking, you said Tony Hawk. As far video games are concerned, there's a lot of people we've had on the podcast where Tony Hawk kind of like got them into metal. That was like the soundtrack behind Tony Hawk. They were like, oh, Primus, or they started like. For me, it was Primus. That's like what my dad was. Yeah, CKY. Yeah. Well, that was like where it started. Like you heard like a video game song, and you're like, what's up with this? And then you start there, or you watch Ace Ventura and you start there, or you like, you know what I mean? It's like, or not start there, but like you get upgraded to like a crazier style of music rather than like Smash Mouth. You're like, oh shit.
It gets crazier than Smash Mouth.
It's crazier.
I haven't gone that far.
Somebody,
and this is going to be pushing my memory here. I believe it's in The Mighty Ducks 3.
Yes.
So we're going deep. They're at like more high school, college age, and him and the main character and is part like the chick he likes or whatever are talking about music. And I still remember to this day watching it when I was really young, just being like, oh yeah, another Mighty Ducks film. And it cracked me up because I had heard that Pantera stuff like I was talking about. And there's a scene where she's like, oh, what kind of music you're into? And he goes, oh, I love Pantera. And she's like, I love Pantera too. And it just cracks me up that line is in a fucking Disney feature film.
That's awesome.
You just unloaded like such memories on me right now, because Mighty Ducks 2 was what introduced me to street hockey.
Wow, there you go.
And after that movie, there was a run of street pucks that came with a triangle. We were talking about triangles. A triangle of roller balls in it, and you would play this puck on the street, but there was the knuckle puck. That I always tried to do, and I think I actually achieved it a couple of times, where you kick the puck up on its side.
Yeah, on the side. It's like the Happy Gilmore version of hockey.
You totally kick a field goal with the puck, You know,
Yeah.
it's the exact same.
That's awesome.
Whatever, you know, your stick is now the the field goal kicker foot,
Thing.
and you're making that thing flip. And dude, even though it was you look back at that movie now and it was totally faked every time. I wanted it to be real.
Yeah.
You know, so
No,
you're
totally.
just trying to enact
copy
this
it.
fake thing that was posed to you as possible.
It's the Happy Gilmore. The Happy Gilmore, same thing. It's like everyone wanted to do like the running up, like drive, and
I successfully did that. I'm a
Yeah, see-
golfer, so I can actually pull that
it's
off.
okay. So a quick story about Anthony, real quick, because I told this to someone
It's
recently,
the
and I forget.
worst.
So we met at a Top Golf. You guys know Top Golf? It's like one of those places where you play like for scores and stuff. And I was living in Sacramento at the time, and Anthony and his family were there. And Anthony and his dad's been taking Anthony out to play golf his whole
Since I
fucking
was
life.
11.
Is 11, and dude was me and Anthony were drunk, and Anthony was
Hammered.
just missing the ball, and his dad's face was just like, "What the fuck, dude?" his dad had this disappointment, like, my son, you failed
Anthony
me.
brought out a friend, and now this is what he shows after all these years of me playing.
His dad's face was the best, just like him, just going like, "Dude, I spent thousands of dollars taking you."
But actually, no. Now let's do a little side note. Like, I'm glad that happened because you actually were coming out like, "Oh, dude, what the fuck, dude? I'm gonna go out with all these golfer guys, and I gotta fucking
I suck
try
at
and
it.
hit a golf ball. I don't golf, and then I go out and do what I did.
It was the funniest.
I'm good, dude.
You made me feel so comfortable, dude. If that was like a comfortable move to make me feel comfortable, you did a great job. I felt like I was like your dad was like bummed on you, like your family was disgraced by you, and I'm like, okay, well, I feel like I can hit next. I'm good.
I've always been like that, dude. I've never been the one that can own up to like my dad or my brothers playing. I've always been the guy that's like, fuck it, dude. Let's drink beers, let's get high, and if I hit it straight, fuck yeah, dude. You know? That's
You're never competitive with it. Same with you and always
I
tripped
could
me out
chip
about
one
Anthony
on for a fucking birdie, and I'm like, oh shit, dude,
No,
I did
Anthony
that,
is
dude.
the same way with this, and it's actually I've brought this up to a couple people. Like, it trips me out about you that you played football, you played all these sports, but you don't watch any of it. You're like never watching any baseball. Like, I'm not watching any of that shit.
Yeah,
like, I played it a bunch. I was way into it. Like, it was like my life for a little while, but I don't watch
the
any of
sports
it.
is where I actually get the excitement. You know, I don't get.
You can't
excitement
relate.
by
It's like
watching
listening to
other
a band,
people
though. You know,
playing.
Joseph? What was that?
I didn't say anything yet, but I was gonna say Anthony should
Joseph,
be playing
go.
disc golf instead of
disc
regular
golf.
golf.
That's
I
a
got
hard
an
one.
uncle that
The way you
plays it, and
described
he's
it.
actually super into it, and actually has many a times made me feel like I should try. You know, I can
think
throw.
that's
Dude,
your sport.
shout out to Jared moving to Vegas. I invented a game with him called Frisbee, and we throw a frisbee around. I don't get me to give you the rules right now, but it was
You
a
gotta
drinking
hit a
game.
beer, and if you get the beer,
No,
then you
okay,
drink
I
it.
throw it to somebody and they catch it, then I gotta drink. If I throw one that's a bullshit, I gotta drink. If they miss it, they gotta drink. If I
Why don't you
bank
guys
it
just
off of
drink and listen to
something-
music?
If I bank it off of something and it's still a good
It's too much
catch,
thinking and
they
not
gotta
enough
drink
drinking.
twice.
I know. There's certain drinking games where I'm like, well, I didn't lose, but I'm gonna drink.
They're just trying to
I'm
tease
bored.
themselves, like, well, no drink. No, they gotta think about it first.
Hey, you can't drink yet. You can't
fucking
drink yet. It's
fun,
like, I'm gonna
dude.
drink now. I didn't
Simple
lose,
ones.
but I would like to drink right now.
Yeah, exactly.
This kind of shits on the whole game.
No, but we're just like in the sun in Riverside. Shout out Riverside.
That's a person.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love you, River.
Long Beach.
Last name side. No, dude. That's what it's all about, dude. It's just fucking experiencing life and making up a game in the moment. Who hasn't done that? If you haven't made up a game because you're too bored.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Pre-cell phone
era.
You got to make up your own game. Like, oh, dude, you threw the stick. like I remember making up a game in front of my dad, and I was trying to show him, and then like it was like had to do with rocks, and he was like, I don't know if that's good. And then like and we were at this person's house that was taking care of me, and the mom opened up their car door, and I was like, check it out, and it shattered the window right in front of my dad. My dad's like, sick dude.
Oh no.
Oh, that's $300.
Game,
We're going
bro.
home.
Yeah.
That's a good game. Mom, I won. No. But it was like it had to do with like I had like some scheme where I was like it had to do with rocks or something, and then he's like, sick dude, let me see it for a second. And I was all shatter, like almost hit her in the head, like the door saved her. And I was like, all right, well,
you almost killed somebody.
I'm super creative, dude.
No, that's the you're making that you're gonna fall flat on some shit, dude. So it's like I gotta
shattered
make
some
this
shit.
game up. I'm bored right now. I'm gonna make that's how I am. I gotta make this game up. I'm gonna make everybody have fun around me because it seems like it's a little scattered, you know.
So Anthony, with you have a bunch of kids, so do you watch your kids organically make games up now? Because that's when I used to do it when I was a kid.
Yeah. And I see stagnancy. I'm gonna stir that up, you know.
Yeah.
Make up a game. It literally is, let's put a toy down the hallway and we're gonna fucking bowl at it, dude. You know? We're gonna throw something at it. You know.
I used to drive my parents insane.
Gonna knock it down. Let's do
What'd you do? So what'd you do, Chris? Colin? Almost called Chris.
You're a good man. I used to, and this is like on a massive scale, so that's probably why I drove them insane. My mum used to sew a lot, so when they went around, and my brother and I were just sticking around, we have like a sunroom on the house, which is just like a long rectangular kind of room facing one of the sun rising or setting sides, and sunroom. We would like get all of her thread bundles out, which she obviously resented us for, and string up the entire sunroom so it was like a web of fucking thread, and then make it like a jungle gym for action figures.
That's pretty sick.
It was sick, but holy shit, did I probably copped some shit from my folks for that one, because I probably destroyed a lot of fucking expensive stuff. But it was fun. My brother and I loved it when we did it.
I know. Go ahead, Joseph.
Forts, dude, making forts.
Oh,
that
forts.
Was shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. That's
any of that sort of stuff.
Thing.
Yeah.
There's anything you can get a stick. You can get a stick and a rock as a kid. Yeah. That's the creativity I miss as being because my dad used to always say like, man, life gets a lot more boring after this. Just but you have a lot of energy. You're having a lot of fun right now. But I still remember that sticking out in my head.
Harder
like,
and more boring.
yeah. And like I would just be like, whatever, dude, I got a dude here, and we'll make there's a rock and a stick, and we can make a fucking technical ass game out of it. And we'd sit outside for 3 hours.
Literally, I experienced it last weekend where my two youngest were putting their brains together to make the fort, dude. And I had zero. I mean, there was the previous times that I had taught them like this is you got to move the table over here so the pillows will fit as a roof. You know,
gotta make a correct fort.
Yeah, I actually, now that we're talking about this, I can remember the times where the coffee table was too far away from the couch, and they're still trying to make a pillow work as a roof. And I tell them, you got to move the coffee table over here because the pillow's got to be this much. And then they do. And so this last weekend, I had zero input on their fort and 100% solid, bro. Literally, like
it's like brackets and shit. Like they had to like fucking walk like 4x4s and
a garrison and a moat.
Hallway. They had a hallway, bro.
It's all braced, all sick.
I had like a questionable immigrant workforce in the hallway, building a fort for them.
Questionable immigrant workforce.
Like, you're too big.
That sounds like a Cephalic Carnage song name, dude.
Just building an accessory dwelling unit on your property.
Accessory dwelling unit. I know.
We're talking in
Jesus.
cliches here, by the way.
Yeah, permanent office. I'm just, we're kidding around.
Yeah.
That's the modern version of building a fort, is just building an ADU.
You outsource it.
Yeah, it's like I can charge someone rent to live on my property here. A permanent fort.
Beautiful. I'm sure they'd do it in New York or Tokyo or LA or something. They'd work out a way to go.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
in
come on,
the
it's actual
mountains, you
space
got.
to
I
rent.
mean,
They encourage it here to like
Yeah.
solve the housing crisis. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they do
really?
encourage it, but they're still
Yeah.
like they encourage it. But right now, I've gone to the
But they make money off it, and the licensing is insane, and the
it's
regulation.
insane.
Oh,
It's like,
wow.
hey, do you want to build something that's like $50,000? Like, a little
Like, do you
thing?
want to
It's
like talk to the government for 3 years?
I know. And then they're
while you
like,
do it?
dude, sick, dude. I'm glad you want to build that. Just give us like $35,000, and then you can just build that after we like check a piece of paper off. Like, it's gonna be. We want you to build though, really bad.
And it literally is still like a good deal if you care about it. Like you can
Yeah,
make
yeah,
Yeah.
money back, so.
Overall housing costs, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
that's why they're like getting in on it. They're like, oh, supply and demand. This is
Yeah.
what we can make off of it and be actually make it a good deal. It's like, but what do you? They just come over there with a clipboard and they're like, yeah, it works. All right, 35 grand. It's like, cool.
I know.
You're like,
Yeah.
dude, Jesus. And then property tax
lot.
cycle. Like, gee,
Yeah.
it's like, can we like live? I mean, mud huts are sick. I'm down to carve do about it. Anyways,
Property
Um,
class.
so in do you guys have permits in Australia?
I did want to bring it back to Australia at some
Thank-
point.
No, bring it back to Australia.
What
Come on.
time
do it
is
now.
it right now? in
Game
Australia?
4 p.m. on Friday, the 20th of October.
Oh shit. It's about to go down.
It's all
You've just been like pre-gaming your Friday night with us. That's awesome.
I'm also the tamest son of a bitch ever. I like, vape a bit, and then I might have a beer, and then I watch like a couple of TV shows and pass out.
And then you
at
hide from
9 o'clock.
brown snakes.
Yeah, well, I go to bed at 9 o'clock because the hope is by the time the whole night passes, I don't get killed by anything. So
Yeah,
the longer I sleep, the less chance of dying outside
That's
there is.
true.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
You're
It's-
vulnerable. You're vulnerable. Hey, you don't want to sleep.
It's a strategic move. Yeah.
well, you got to think smartly about these things.
Yeah. You got to be on your toes out there. Shit.
Well, yeah, but yeah, no, it's definitely it's getting
Down
late in
there.
the arvo here, which is fine for me. I'm not doing anything today, so it's pretty
Yeah,
chill.
we just hit 3 hours. So
Well,
You
we did.
congrats. What's the longest one you guys have ever
shout
done?
out.
Oh, like 4 hours.
There's been a
something.
4.
Because what was Cameron's?
Cameron. Who's Cameron?
Argon.
Cameron Argon.
Oh,
Yeah,
Argon.
Because wasn't his pretty long? Or was
Anthony's
that-
talking
we
with
had
us on
2 of
mute.
them.
He's just he can't. He needs help.
Was it 2 separate ones, or was it the same one split in half?
Anthony's muted again. Oh
Oh,
no!
this
Look
is
at him.
good Anthony mute moment. Watch Anthony try to
good.
talk into the mic. Well, he'll try talking to the mic a bunch, thinking that we can hear him.
Oh, poor Anthony. He hates
No,
it.
Anthony. No, I can kind of hear it, Anthony. I can hear
Go
it.
get Mike Gilbert.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
yeah,
I can't hear it.
No.
But I just want to see you like talking to the mic again. Oh, he wants me to hear what he's saying, but he doesn't understand that the mic doesn't work. It's still one of my favorite things.
I got an idea. We should like end it and like Anthony talks. Like, thanks for everybody, and we like mouth
just-
the words. We
So
like,
we have to make up dialogue for the listeners though. We
Yeah.
can't just like
no, but I mean, like as he mouths it, we like someone talks and pretends like they're Anthony. I'll do
this is
it.
my
Is
favorite.
he-
I think he's lost his bike. For
He
some
can hear
reason.
us too. It's funny.
Yeah,
It
it's
happened
just
last
his
time.
audio.
He has
Go
to
get
reboot
Mike
his-
Gilbert, dude.
You got to
Go get
reboot. your-
Mike.
Just restart the computer, dude. That's all you got to do.
I love how he's
How
trying
to
to
do
talk
that.
to us. He doesn't understand the we can't hear you thing.
I read those
That's a-
lips.
that's
It
a-
says, "I don't want to fucking do
I don't want to
that."
fucking restart. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it.
Nice.
Is it a Mac or a PC?
He refuses to want to learn technology. He's like, I just know cars and I don't want to learn technology.
Oh, that's the way it is. People are. I mean, it's
I know.
annoying to have to learn it. I mean, to be honest, it's not like it's fun, but like, you got to learn. I mean, okay,
IT
just
moment.
yeah. Is it a Mac or a PC? He's like, I don't even know. He doesn't know. Yeah. Do you see a little apple at the top left?
Let's give him.
No?
Let's give him
Oh,
dude.
okay. On the bottom left, you see like little
Come on, man.
squares that look like a
It's-
Windows thing.
He's talent. He has
No?
someone on
You didn't?
set.
I know he's got
Yeah,
Mike
you
Gilbert,
gotta
one of
get
the
Mike.
best.
You got to summon Mike to bring him back in.
Anyway,
He's
while
all-
that
he's-
happens,
Yeah,
how's the metal scene in Australia, Colin. There's some good bands I like from there, like Nea Obliviscaris and Disentomb.
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
Yep.
We went into both
I
those.
used to work with those guys, so like Disentomb are good bros of mine because they're from Brisbane, so where I am.
Brisbane.
Brisbane, if you want to say it that way.
Brisbane, yeah.
Sorry, what was the question, sorry, my dude?
Oh, what did you do with them?
Oh, like all the like guitar and bass playthroughs and stuff, and a bunch of their promo photos is my photo video work. Same as I mentioned to one of you guys. You guys had someone on a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about Aussie bands, and they mentioned Iconic Vivisect.
Mm-hmm.
I did Iconic Vivisect's music video.
Yeah.
Damn.
So they're dudes I've worked with as well. Like that's kind of the stuff I love doing. Is that really underground death metal? It doesn't pay great, but I don't give a shit because I love the dudes and I love doing that sort of stuff. It's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I definitely haven't done as much as like I won't lie. You know, you get older, you get more content. You kind of got to focus on other things. But yeah.
So how did you like going from the like audio aspect of things? Because I've always thought like artistically, I think the photography sounds fun, and doing like videography sounds really fun. But like once you actually do, I can't. Anthony's killing me right now. Once you actually do it, like and you're like involved in like, because it seems like such a fun aspect of art to get into. What were the kind of parts that kind of brought you back to reality and kind of made you kind of push back and not do that anymore?
Like part of it was like I had other work as well at the time. But you know that shit happens. That's just part of life. I don't know. I found, I think it's one of those things, you know, like almost like music and stuff at times. If you do too much of it and for too long, it's something you really loved but you were passionate about, it doesn't always convert to a career or a job that's worth.
Yeah, I've found that a lot too. Like with the touring and stuff, I was kind of the amount of work that was going into it,
getting bummed out about it and a bit burnt out.
I mean, there was a lot of cool moments. There's like, you know, but the thing is, I would be so like in a different realm mentally where I wouldn't be really processing it until after it was done.
And that's no fun because you don't get to appreciate it.
Well, because I'm a warrior. I'm always like, I gotta make sure this is right. I gotta make sure all this stuff's right.
Same as me, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, and it kind of it still would take the live performance away a little bit, even though you know, we 5,000-10,000 people we play in front of at certain times and stuff. I would be like extra. I mean, depends on where we are on the tour. If it's the beginning of the tour, I'm a worry freak out person. 2 weeks in, I don't give a shit. I'm just like, I'll get high. I'll do, you know, which is like a nightmare for me.
Life to survive.
yeah. It's just like whatever. You're used to it. It's just you know, as humans, we get used to things. We get very used to. Used to living in a 17 bedroom mansion, and it'd be normal for you. It'd be the same. You'd have the same kind of feeling you would if you had living in a studio. It just your brain like adapts to things. So after a while, I adapt to it, and all the stimuli kind of goes away, and it's just like, let's do this. Let's kick some ass.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh shit, what we don't want to fuck up, and you know, it's like not like that anymore. And then it would just become just kind of like autopilot. And then when I was done, I could really like take it all in and be like, oh shit, that was ridiculous. That was so much fun. But at the time, I still was kind of just like either in a anxiety, make sure everything's right thing, or kind of just on autopilot. Like it was. So it was, for me, it was an interesting trip for me touring. I had a lot of fun. I met amazing people I'll have forever. I know from every walk of life, every state, a bunch of countries and stuff. Like I've done all the cool stuff, but just like the stress of like making sure it's going to be okay. Like, I don't know why, has always like kept this like this kind of thing in the asterisk in the back of my brain. Like I got to make sure that everything's going to be fine and it's not going to be a weird thing, or like, you know, because it feels like we've talked about it a million times on here. There is an underlying, and a band that doesn't admit this is just wrong. There's a underlying competitive nature of bands playing on stage. There's underlying, like a band does really good before you're like, fuck, we gotta step up our shit, which is good. I think it's good, and it produces more competitive nature of humans. But at the same time, it's still like, fuck, you lost the match tonight. You know, like I don't know. To me, I'm very competitive and like secretly. I want everyone to do good too. Like same with sports. I root for a lot of sports, and even teams I don't like, I want them to be all healthy, and I want them to like compete at their highest level. But it's still this weird underlying competitive nature in a lot of these. Not only metal, probably every genre that's available. It's just that's the one I got to see.
Yeah.
Where it was kind of, I mean, it keeps you on your toes, but at the same time, it kind of, I don't know, it makes it a weird kind of not relaxed state for me. So
no, I don't worry. I'm a high functioning anxious person. Like I've got anxiety problems and stuff. I'm the same as you. Anytime I was on tour, and I've never done monstrous ones like that. Like it's just not something that's common here.
Mm-hmm.
And like even just being away for a few days, a week.
Yeah,
it's not. I that's why I'm like really honest about music stuff. Like I love making music. I love creating art, but I don't necessarily. I'm not the person who's ever going to be like, even if this Monsters project I do at the moment, if that became a bigger thing, I don't think it would be something I could pressure myself into touring on.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel untrue to myself if I did it for the sake of money.
Yeah. I mean,
And
what
like,
money?
But well, that's what I mean. But like, if there was even that idea that like doing enough of it could make it, I don't even know if I'm comfortable with that. It sounds kind of self-reductive, but to me, it defeats the purpose of why I was doing it to begin with.
I mean, there was a part of me as a kid that was like wanted to like, yeah, I want to be on stage and do all these things. But then when I got there, I was like, oh shit, this is. I mean, Joseph,
rougher than you expect.
Yeah, exactly. Joseph's been playing in the kind of the newer school death metal circuits and stuff. Do you feel? I mean, it's probably hard for you to talk about it now, not in the post touring part of it because you're going to tour with a bunch of people. But do you feel like any inkling of like a weird, not weird, but just like
weird.
a competitive?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, you already stated it like perfectly. Like you feed off it, and you're like bring what you can just to like you want that acclaim from doing well. That's like cool to want. So yeah,
definitely.
But in terms of competitive, yeah, I think like when a band is better than you try to cop whatever they're doing for sure. You're like, all right, like we need more of that if like it really works, or just the energy from it. Like you're like, okay, like you can hit harder. I get it. Like let's go. So.
I think that it's really funny. That's a great statement, dude. Like that's a great way of putting it. And I think like for me, that sort of ideal of like the energy versus the performance and everything else. I think the ultimate band that sums that up for me ever was seeing Strapping Young Lad, like SYL live. I don't think I'm ever going to see a band with that much commitment to what they're doing, but that much chaotic energy.
Legendary. Yeah.
Yeah. The shit was mind blowing. Like, people
Devin
going about
Townsend.
Devin
So
Townsend's
good.
a trip. Yeah.
He makes the whole crowd laugh too. Like in between things, he'll bring a comedic element that just like loosens up everyone, and people are like empathetic to whatever he does now. Like he's has a complete. I've never seen. I saw Devin Townsend with Animals and Dream Theater about 2 months ago, and he had all of us crying laughing. We were all like, he's like, now you're gonna cheer for me because my low self-confidence, and I need this I need your likes, and like everyone was just like laughing their ass off, and then we're like, we're with you, like no matter what he did, and
that's the
thing.
Keep though.
Yeah, man.
But no, yeah, it's you've got to have that with that sort of stuff too. So
if he came back with Strapping though, come on, that would be
it's never going to happen,
year, dude. I know it would never happen.
Fuck.
Yeah. But that would be epic comeback.
Like even if it was just like, hey, we're just doing a tour and we're just going to play the whole of City front to back. Thank you.
Exactly.
Like, yes, that's perfectly fine with me. Just do what you need to do, Devin.
So what is that?
Bring it over.
Strapping Young Lad's another band I kind of like slid over, and then
it has Gene Hoglan on drums on that City record
from Death and Dark Angel and stuff.
So what's the album called?
City.
This is called City. Okay.
It's got like Skeksis and Shitstorm on it. Those two songs were like the big ones for me. But Love is the big hit. Detox is sick. Yeah, that's iconic. That's like
They're
instead
so-
of Fear Factory, like everyone who likes Fear, I'm like, dude, I already
love
heard
Fear
Strapping
Factory.
and Glad. Like, I don't need any of this like 90s industrial metal.
you
Like for me,
didn't
it was
need
an
that
upgrade
side, no.
already. Yeah.
Oh, Fear Factory changed my life though. That was like they were kind of like in the middle of the new metal slash rock metal. Like no one really and death metal. The first album was death metal. It was
Yeah.
that was a death
was
metal.
it?
So they were always like riding
Soul
the
of a New
line.
Machine.
Soul of a New Machine was totally death metal. Like I mean, yeah, and them just kind of like finding their own lane, and they could play with a death metal band, they could play with a new metal band, they like kind of open them up to a lot of things with their diversity of sound. But yeah, that Strapping and Lad stuff I have heard, because I remember watching recently where he had the skullet with the fucking bald head and the
Oh no, from like the what era was that? That was like the self-titled era.
Yeah, like
'Cause
playing
they-
Ozfest and shit.
Yeah,
Those
and like
Ozfest
maybe
that's
around,
right.
like the other
same for
album
Vi
after that.
too. Steve Vai. I remember seeing that Steve Vai stuff, and
Well,
Sex
he did
and religion.
yeah, he did. Yeah, that's right. He did like a Tonight Show, like with David Letterman or something with Steve. Something
Well,
like that.
that album, Sex, like the album that he sings
Sex
on,
and Religion.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
Devin on the cover.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
naked dude on the cover with the dready wrapped
Oh.
around him is Devin.
Oh, okay.
If you've never noticed that is Devin Townsend.
I have not noticed that, and I've seen Steve
look up
Vai
the,
like
look up,
3
look
times.
up the cover. Look up the cover
And
of that
Religion.
album. That's Devin Townsend. Young
Oh,
Scar. That is Devin though, 100%. No
oh,
hiding that.
totally. It's just hold on.
Yeah, it's Devin. It's naked Devin
Oh,
Townsend on the front of a Steve Vai album.
I didn't even notice. I thought it was a woman.
Sure, it's
Share
Devin
it. Put it on
Townsend.
the screen.
I got share.
bro.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I have too many things I'm trying to do. I'm laughing, and
I'm not
there's too many-
gonna go look it up. I want to see it.
I
now.
told you I'm a man of deep cuts.
All right, this is it. Right here.
You're gonna sit. Yeah, the
it?
weird
Oh,
naked
yeah,
dirty
yeah.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
see, I
that's
can't get-
Devin Townsend. So if you can see his face, like you'll notice that's very much Devi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you find, I don't know if you can find the actual booklet or like the inner thing of the CD. There's like a picture of him like nude like that with his arms wrapped around himself, like it's like an old like 90s photo shoot, like black and white thing, like like you'd think like a pop singer would do or some shit.
It's just Steve Vai. Look how handsome of that. That's a handsome man, dude.
Oh hell yeah. Go Vi. Oh, go up. See the where is it? Maybe that blue. Oh no, that's not it. Yeah. Damn it! I wish I had my actual copy around somewhere because all my shit like this is put away.
He's got arrows in him. He's like, oh, my heart.
But yeah, that is very much Devi on the front cover.
Look
And
at this. This is a good Viagra ad.
Well, that one's flexible. Well, if you want to go
Anyway.
back to the photos you were on,
Yeah.
if you go back, there's one with scroll up a tiny little bit. Stop there. So see the Guitar World cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, click on
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's Devin on the right.
Oh shit.
I remember he was
Matrix
trying to
skull it.
I remember watching there was an interview on Headbangers Ball, and I remember watching him. Shit, it's not like sorry, there's a new window pop-up, you've probably not seen that. But there is a Headbangers Ball with him, and he is just trying to be the most like, ooh, yeah, woo. He's trying to be, and I watched an interview with him talking about it. He's like, that's the worst part. It's the most embarrassing thing. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. He was trying to be like super stand out. He'd be like, he was like crawling around the set while like Steve Vai and Ricky Rackman are talking. And he's like trying to go into their chair and be like, bleh. I'm like, and I'm like, it's adorable now. That's adorable now. But luckily he turned out to be a beautiful human.
Like after Strapping did their first album, which I think was Heavy as a Really Heavy Thing, he like nearly fucking went batshit. He like had to check himself into a psychiatric hospital and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's got like a bunch of
he's bipolar and a couple of other things, I think. But like, yeah, he had like a massive weird breakdown.
And shout out to him because he's very vocal about it and talks about how he got help and how things have helped him. And yeah, I remember him like getting deep into the mental health stuff, and I was like, damn, like there's a lot of metalheads I feel like they're in the same realm as him, and I feel like him speaking on it was super cool. Like I actually Like,
no. He's an absolute legend. He speaks truth. That's from his perspective, and that's all you can ask for someone like that.
Exactly. Well, fuck yeah. Are we wrap up, Rome? Okay,
We can wrap up, boys.
We're getting pretty
been
late.
A long one.
I kind of want Anthony back to like. Oh, go ahead to like see him struggle with the mic. But anyways,
that'd be.
Anthony can't come back because Mike's asleep. Anthony doesn't know the password to the computer, and you need to restart it. We did discover it as a Windows computer though, so you know.
Isn't it funny?
that.
You guys all have Macs? Do you guys all have Macs?
I'm on a Mac. I use
kind
both though. I use both.
Yeah.
Well, we ended on Strapping Young Lad, and then that's like the start of the industrial metal thing, kind of.
Pretty much.
Like, and that's kind of where you're at this point. You're at the future.
Yeah,
the
that's
edge.
kind of like a mixture of
So,
well, everything we've talked about is while it's not the most direct route, it's holistically about what created the sounds and what sculpted that sound and where it's going. Yeah, new stuff's only going to be heavier, weirder.
Oh yeah,
probably more chaotic and fucked than I need it to be. Whether people like it or not, hey, we'll find out. But that's their choice.
What do you think about? I mean, we can end on kind of me and Joseph, I guess, together saw Igor last week.
Yeah.
What do you? Because it's funny because my fiance last night we were talking about Igor, and she was like, like she's a really good singer, but I showed her like a bunch of music videos of it, and I showed her a bunch of stuff, and she's just like, I don't like it's just, and I was like, I know it's it's an expression of art it's like an abstract art expression. It's not like something I want to be like, yeah, I want to have a good time and chill. It's like a fucking take acid, like without taking acid, and like fry your brain a little bit. But what is your experience with them, and has that been any influence on you?
Oh, for sure. Like they're a big influence just as far as like it's almost like they cracked the code, or he cracked the code. I say Gautier, the main guy.
Yeah.
It kind of cracked the code as far as like how to combine what is basically hard electronic music, quite extreme metal when it comes in. But then the thing is, he did that really gnarly thing of him being from France. He's included the French Baroque period of classical music in it.
That's right.
And that's the thing that ties the two. Because I'm not sure if the metal and electronic he does would work together as well if he didn't understand that he needed that tonality and chordal structures of Baroque music to be able to peel off into these tangents. Because that's part of the reason when I've been doing Monsters, I've focused on I think it was mentioned a bit earlier, like layering things and trying to find very specific layerings that then lead to a feeling that could transport the song further on. And it's the same sort of concept. You have to have that. If you're going to hybridize genres, and I'm not saying it like I'm an expert, I'm not, but I think you need to have something that is interesting, that tangibly connects what you're trying to combine.
Yeah.
And It doesn't have to reinvent the wheel or anything, but yeah, that stuff with Gautier is just like, he knows what he's doing. Have you ever checked out his other project?
No, I would love to.
Worker, however you put. He had a fucking he had like a grind band beforehand.
Oh yeah, we talked. Yeah. We were
like
kind of looking at
Worker or Hawker or however you say it. Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
That stuff's sick as well. But no, Igor's a massive influence. The other one, before we finish up and stuff, just trying to think, like a lot of black metal's a big influence on me as well. Like, and that's a bit different from that. But if you listen to Igor, you can kind of get
he
why
has
that
some black metal stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and Baroque music's very dark, and it's linked.
Yeah,
to a certain
he found that connection.
Yeah,
and it all just builds and builds and builds and creates something. So yeah, Igor's a fucking genius. The guy, 100% knows what he's doing. The musicians he's got performing with him are like best of the best of the best. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like they are freaks. Martin, the guitarist, is a nutcase. He's
so good.
He actually has a band that you should highly check out called Ha, H-A-H, Ha. They made their name an acronym because they wanted to disassociate from their original band name because they weren't getting booked. So Ha is HAH, which stands for hardcore anal hydrogen.
Of course.
Don't even ask. Don't even ask. Imagine like a grindcore version of Igor, but it has like a grindcore vocalist in the yelly kind of range, but he's pitch shifted his voice higher. So it's like, it's just so intense. And yeah, it's like a mix of like full DMT levels of electronica through to like pop music, through to grind, through to thrash, punk. It's fucking mental, absolutely mental shit. And they did like a video very early on when, you know, people started playing with AI and images. Do you remember when there were people doing that? They'd convert a video and it would make it look like it's all like green,
like an AI video.
Plants.
Yeah.
They did that sort of thing. But
Oh,
it's like an acid tripper's worst nightmare. So if you ever want to check out something crazy, they're a fun band to check out.
I was actually the one at the Igor show, the opening bands. I whispered over to Trevor and I was like, I am so glad that we didn't do any kind of psychedelics for these like melt banana and
melt banana are bad shit. They're from Japan, aren't they?
Yeah. I was like, this is like my worst nightmare on psychedelics right now. Like would be like, it's like a bad trip, but it's like,
oh hell yeah.
It's just like, but that's what they're trying to do. It's like kind of just like a noise bad trip thing. And for me, I'm like, thank God we didn't decide to be like, let's go take mushrooms and go to Igor, dude, because that would be Igor would have been mind. I mean, it already was mind blowing, but melt banana, it's exactly. It's like melt banana is like the worst acid trip choice. It's like cool. Let's
They're like the Ren and Stimpy of music.
It's like let's make a bad acid trip without taking acid. Is that cool?
Yeah, well, that's basically it. So
yeah,
but yeah, I know. Yeah, but no, Igor's definitely huge on me, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. That's the only reason why I like the show and stuff. Like seeing it was so impactful to me. It's like I love any kind of weird prog music or anything. I'm just like I can't wrap my mind around it. And I'm like, I don't listen to Igor just like, oh yeah, I'm working. Let's put on fucking Igor. like my brain can't. It's too much stimuli. I can't do that. But like seeing them live was so sick. You know, I know their songs and stuff like their hits. Yeah. But Jesus Christ, the show, the visual aspect that he brought to that insane auditory assault, I was like, whoa! And I mean, we were walking outside, Joseph, and we were like, people were just like, everyone's going talking in groups, going like, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That was insane. What's going on? I don't like. People were like didn't know how to understand it. Like walking, they were all confused, and I loved that confusion. It was.
But it's funny. It's a positive confusion.
Yeah.
Because
everyone's like wanted to create more on it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like a fucking makes your brain go like, and you're like, what was that?
There's a great audience for that kind of music right now. That's like a really cool thing to be doing.
And definitely. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to just see who wants to hear it. If anyone's interested in hearing it, like I said, find my shit on the web, find it anywhere.
Monsters Around Us, motherfucker. So monstersaroundus.com do you have, or do you have
no just Bandcamp? No, just Bandcamps and other stuff, and Facebooks and you know all the usual shit.
Yeah, follow them on all the social media stuff. You just search that name.
Yeah,
right. That's gonna just pop right up.
It's gonna be the easiest. I've got new stuff coming out. I mean, fuck it. May as well talk about it a little bit, just very quickly. You know, I've previously done collabs with Cali Death dudes like Matt from Cryptopsy, Jared from Rivers of Nile. I've had Pierre Denel from Kadinja and Novelist playing guitar. I've had dudes from Frontiera on it as well.
Hell yeah.
And I will leave this by saying for the first time, like it's not even announced, but fuck it, like I don't care if it's public because it's my project and it's a personal thing. Like it's not like a label's holding me up and go, you can't mention things. So for the new EP, I do have a guest for a track. They've written synths and saxophone.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It is Jorgen Munkby, who is the current synth player in Emperor.
Oh shit.
And he is the founding and original member and composer of Shining from Norway, the guys who made the Black Jazz album.
Yeah, that's right.
So he is going to be playing on my new EP. I've already got it all recorded. It's all there. So after this, I'll find the links and I'll privately send it to you guys so you can suss it out.
I'd love that.
There's still
That'd be
shit that
fucking
needs to be
awesome.
tracked onto it, but you'll get a good enough idea and you'll get where it's going. But yeah, it was an awesome time being able to work with that guy because he's a musician I've looked up to my entire fucking life. So
that's super sick, dude.
Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, fuck yeah, dude.
You
Colin,
heard it here for.
I know. Breaking news.
You heard it here first.
CDP
Heard it
time
here
zone.
first, everybody. Yeah.
That's
welcome to
awesome,
the
man.
news at 5.
There's kind of like an old school 50s American accent you do it there. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the old like radio box. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
welcome to the top of the news. At 5 p.m. we had like you're gonna have that really uncomfortable jittery.
Oh,
kind
5
of
p.m.
thing.
Yeah, it's all like, yeah, it's like a weird cadence you have to get down for that.
Yeah,
but
it's just the timing.
Colin, Anthony just showed up for a second.
Did you click
Thanks for
it?
showing up. Thanks for hanging out, man. This was actually a lot of fun. I walked into this and had probably about 10 minutes to listen to your music and was like,
That's so good,
"Whoa,
man.
this is super cool." And I had to get off work, do a bunch of shit, and had a couple minutes, and I was like, "What's going on tonight?" Listen to it. It's fucking awesome. You're doing something new. You're bringing shit like
Thanks,
mixing
man.
shit together, and that's what I'm all about nowadays. And yeah, I'm super glad you're in Australia. You had to do the Friday thing when we're doing the
man.
Thursday thing, and I really appreciate you showing up and hanging out with us and just getting down with us. That was fucking
No worries,
fun,
man.
dude.
Like
That was
like I
really
said
fun.
at the start. You guys do a good thing. It's a good hangout. It's a good way to people to listen, forget their bullshit for a week.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's got complicated lives. Everyone has fuck ups and does things wrong, and issues happen, and you start judging yourself and other stuff, or other things happen, and you start judging yourself or other people. And you just got to remember we're all in it, man. It fucking sucks at times, but you're all beautiful people. I appreciate you. I love what you're doing, and I really, really do honestly thank you for letting me come on and talk shit with my boys for a few hours.
Dude. That's awesome, man.
It's humbling as fuck. So
I could not say it better myself. And with that, love you guys. Have a good night.
Love you. Cheers.
Peace.
Thanks, Colin.
Yes.
Later.